cars out on the racetrack. We've mentioned the blue skies. We've mentioned the sunshine. It's a great day for racing here at Dover. Let's take you around this Dover Motor Speedway. 1 mile exactly, concrete oval. It's been concrete since 1995. And we call it a self-cleaning racetrack. 24 degrees of banking in the corners, 9 degrees of banking on the straightaways. You heard in our open, when one car goes around here, it often collects multiple others behind them because of the makeup of this racetrack. They'll dive down into turns 1 and 2. Many different lanes to choose from. When you get there, you can run bottom, you can run middle, you can run top, and you can run in between those lanes if you so choose. We'll see how the rubber lays down on the track after a bit of rain yesterday. And, of course, as we mentioned at the Open, tires, a big conversation with this race, as the last time we were on a concrete track at Bristol, tires were a huge factor. They call this place a roller coaster. You dive into the corners, then you sling yourselves up when you come out of the corners onto the straightaways. And when they come out of turn number 2, they'll hit the back stretch. Gaffney, South Carolina, Seth Eves is there.
Thank you very much, Matthew, and good afternoon to everybody. Yeah, when you come out turn 2 that straightaway, it really does jump out and bite at you. And let me tell you something. When you lose this car here, you might as well forget about saving it. More often than not, you lose control of the car out of turn 2. Not only are you spinning, you're probably heading for a not-so-pleasant impact on that inside wall. So if you go 2x2, you better have your car in good lockstep formation. They'll then head into the banking again in turns 3 and 4. A lot of drivers will try to use the high side off turn when they go into the corner to set themselves for a run off of turn number 4 and a potential run of the checkered flag. I'll have all the action from the back half of the Dover Motor Speedway this afternoon.
And again, with this being just a 1 mile racetrack, straightaways are not very long, only 1,076 feet long, these straightaways, so you don't get much time to rest inside those cars. You are just about in a constant state of turning the wheel, chopping at the steering wheel, trying to get it through these corners. As we said, it is a hard, tough day's work, 400 miles at Dover. We mentioned pit road as well. Super narrow. The pit boxes are tiny. They're the smallest pit boxes of anywhere we go to. Everywhere around here can cause stress, including the red eyes of Miles the Monster that rims around the walls.
Yeah, he's a scary critter, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's not, the tracks that have the nicknames, the track Too Tough to Tame and the Lady in Black, and then, of course, the Monster Mile, they're very well named, that's for sure. As we anticipate getting the 1 to go signal this time around, and we'll go racing here at Dover. Said it earlier, Seth, glad to be back at Dover. Really are. Very, very happy that we could do this race. It's been a while for us at Dover and excited to do it.
Yeah, very much excited. Very much excited. Another car went off course at Birmingham, by the way. Christian Rasmussen, or however you say it.
That's been the story of the day here.
It looks like it might be raining a little bit there. See precipitation on Ray Hall's onboard. Your race has rain threats? Can't relate.
For once.
Thank the good Lord. Well, Matt White's not with us, so, God bless you, Matt, but, you have that effect on it.
So, Seth, lights out atop the Ford Mustang pace car. Ready to go?
Born ready to go, and there's fireworks flowing off, too. They're ready to go. Everybody ready to go. Should be a good one this afternoon. You've got the defending series champion Ryan Blaney on the outside we'll start second. Kyle Busch on pole position. He could use a much-needed win today or a good run, if anything else, as Matthew mentioned. We are stacked and packed. We're ready to go. We're ready to tame the monster. We've already got the fireworks off the track. How about the fireworks on the track? For our own firecracker, here's Walnut Cove, North Carolina's Matthew Owens to get the party started.
Sellout crowd on their feet, green flag in the air. It's time to drop the hammer at Dover. Great start off the outside of row 1 for Kyle Busch. He shows the way to turn 2.
Yeah, he gets away by about a car length over Tyler Reddick and Ryan Blaney. 3 wide in the middle of the pack. Blaney now clear to second. Reddick clear to third. First side-by-side battle fourth. William Byron to the inside of Denny Hamlin.
Byron and Hamlin battle for that fourth position. Hamlin slings up out of the corner, top side, puts a nose in front of William Byron. Noah Gregson might join this battle as well.
Yeah, Gregson looking on that 10. We bottomed out a little bit there. Here's Hamlin on the outside trying to get that spot from Byron. They're still side-by-side back at P4. Hamlin on the outside. Byron, though, dives it in, packs it in on the inside. He'll take the spot.
Yeah, Byron clears Hamlin and will accelerate away from him here on the main straightaway. Hamlin left to fight Noah Gregson for the fifth position. Still double file, middle of the pack. Martin Truex Jr. just made up a spot. He passed Darrell Wallace.
Yeah, he'll be one to watch coming throughout the field this afternoon, that is for sure. At the front, it's Kyle Busch, still by about 2 car lengths over Ryan Blaney, then Reddick, Byron, and Hamlin.
Busch comes back to the stripe. His lead on Ryan Blaney, will call it 5 car lengths as he sails back off to turn number 1 and 2.
Yep, looking for his 4th career win at Dover in that blue and white number 8. Off to a good start, pacing the field, leading by 4/10 of a second over Ryan Blaney, who has the race sponsor on it today, Worth. The defending champ rides in second. Now he's strung out a little bit, spread out.
Good sanitary start. Everyone gets single file at the front at least, but further back, drivers that dropped to the rear of the field or was just starting in the rear of the field, trying to make up ground right away. Christopher Bell, unapproved adjustments on his car. He started at the back. He's already picked up 5 places. We'll also be watching Daniel Suarez trying to come from the back. Also, we'll try to be watching for Chase Elliott, who started 29th. He didn't have to go to the rear. Look at that, Fox listening to us. He didn't have to go to the rear. He just had a poor qualifying run yesterday, Chase. And he is still in that 29th spot. He's in turns 1 and 2 in that Napa number 9.
A 2-time winner here at the Monster Mile, and he's going to try and get a spot as he goes to the inside of the Ryan Preece automobile. Elliott packs it into turn 3. He'll clear Preece, so move the 9 car up another spot.
So Elliott up to the 28th position. And again, you know, this is a 1-mile track. The lap times go by quick. You got to be careful if you're starting out back, Seth. You could go a lap down pretty quick.
Absolutely. It's kind of like Bristol on steroids, isn't it? With the track, it's not all that big, but it's a high-speed concrete menace.
Yeah, sure is. Busch, Blaney, Reddick, Byron, and Hamlin the top 5 as we've completed 7 laps. Kyle Larson, the other Kyle, going after Daniel Hemrick in turn 2.
Larson now on the outside of Hemrick. He'll blow right by him. Well, I think he's going to blow right by him. Yeah, he'll clear him off at turn 2. So give Kyle Larson another spot. Larson, a former winner at the Monster, and he almost won here on a couple other occasions, including in 2016 in a thrilling duel with Matt Kenseth and Chase Elliott.
Yeah, that was a terrific race here in the final laps. Larson, with that pass, moves up to 19th, now puts the target on the back door of Ty Gibbs.
Meanwhile, Chase Elliott's putting the target on the back door of Corey LaJoie on the exit of turn number 2. And LaJoie gets a big run on Todd Gilliland. He must have had a bit of a hiccup in the corner because LaJoie closed in on him at a big rate of knots. He goes past Gilliland. Now Elliott will make the charge.
Now Larson around the outside of Gibbs further up in that fight we just mentioned for 18th. It wasn't much of a fight. Larson clears Gibbs.
So Kyle Larson on the move. That's P18 for the number 5 automobile. We talked about the month of May being a big month for us, a pretty big month for the driver of that 5 car coming up. But today, running in the 18th position. How about Brad Keselowski, Matt?
Keselowski, back-to-back runner-up finishes, just motored around the outside of Carson Hocevar, made the pass on the Hocevar machine up to 21st. Yeah, breaking news today, Seth. Not sure if you've seen it. The month of May being so busy for Kyle Larson, he will not be practicing his car at North Wilkesboro on All-Star Weekend. You know who will be? Kevin Harvick.
How about that?
So look at Fox Go. They're going to have an analyst in the booth that night that was on the track that weekend.
That's going to help out their coverage, I'll tell you. But, not that it needed that much help to begin with, but, in the booth.
Yes.
Different story, but that booth, we've been harsh on Harvick in a way, but at times, but boy, you said it best. Mike Joy has helped make him a better broadcaster already.
Yeah, sure has. Kyle Larson is on the move. He just made another pass, Seth.
Yes, he did. He is on the prowl. So moving another spot. Whoa, Corey LaJoie nearly run over Harrison Burton on the back straightaway. He'll go to the inside of Burton in turn 3 while Gilliland washes way up the racetrack. Chase Elliott's going to try and get Harrison Burton.
Ooh.
Larson passing Chris Buescher for 17th, by the way.
Elliott trying to get through this traffic. He had made the pass on Gilliland, but then had to back away from Harrison Burton, and Gilliland repasses Elliott. Meanwhile, at the front, Ryan Blaney still 5 car lengths in back of race leader Kyle Busch. So, just underway, good sanitary start to the Worth 400 here in Dover, Delaware, and Kyle Busch from the pole got the whole shot and has jumped out to lead every lap so far. With
well, those
Ryan
Marines
Blaney.
are having the time of their life, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Well, there of course, is a military base not too far from here in Dover. There's always a strong military feel around Dover and military attendance here. And, yeah, we had 4 veterans give the command earlier today, and we've got a lot in the seats as well. I tell you what, who else is in attendance today, Seth? He's not in a seat in the grandstands. He is on top of the box with Chris Rice and the colleague team, Delaware's own Mike Bagley.
Okay, so he's doing it again today. I saw he was on the top of the box yesterday.
Yeah, he's there all weekend.
To your point about that you need to get on with the get on if you're at the back of the pack. You made a call about Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson mid pack. By the time you were done with that, you had to call the leaders at the start finish line. So yeah, they you better get on. It's not going to be the top 20 ain't going to be separated by like a half a second like last week.
No, it's
top
not.
Top 20 already separated by 13 seconds.
Larson is 17th. Elliott is 27th. Elliott still has not been able to complete this pass on Todd Gilliland. He was able to get by Harrison Burton. Christopher Bell is 30th. Daniel Suarez is 31st. So, difficult for these guys to make up ground. And, we used to live in a time, Seth, when someone would go to the rear for the start, when a big gun would have to start at the back. They would be 15th in 10 laps. That's no longer the case with this new generation car. It's harder to get up the field from the back, and I don't think that's a bad thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably not. But but some would probably disagree because we can't agree on anything in NASCAR unfortunately these days.
No, what makes you say that?
Just one of those hunches I have. To quote a former analyst you can't stand, I'm often wrong but never in doubt. Or couldn't stand, I should say, because
Okay, moving on. Kyle Busch, the leader by 0.4 of a second on Ryan Blaney. Tyler Reddick still rides in third, fourth William Byron. Denny Hamlin is fifth. Oh, and, smoke filling the cockpit of Ryan Preece's car.
Yeah, that's it's not good.
And he's not coming to pit road.
Excuse me?
He's not coming to pit road either.
No, he's not.
He is still at full song here, but there is a lot of smoke filling the cockpit of the Preece car. Looks like it's originating maybe from the right side, maybe the right front. Wow. Well, if that continues, one, he's going to have a rough day. Two, I don't know if NASCAR will like that all that much, and he might be seeing black here before too much longer.
Yeah, he might.
Meanwhile, let's pick up William Byron. He has closed in on Tyler Reddick for third there in turn 2.
Yeah, indeed he has. So the McDonald's car feeling a little bit of heat. Meanwhile, Ryan Blaney catching Kyle Busch just a little bit. About a car length or so is the difference.
Race out of turn number 4, comes to the line to complete lap number 24 of 120 in this first stage, and Busch's lead is starting to disappear a little bit here from Ryan Blaney, chasing him down in the second position. By the way, give a call to A.J. Allmendinger, Seth. Maybe Mike Bagley's appearance for Colleague that has done that's given them the magic wand this weekend. Allmendinger started top 10. He's running 8th.
Real quick, Preece was told that it's probably the same thing the 14 had yesterday with rubber buildup.
Oh, well, that could be that. They would certainly know more than me. Looks like
I'll keep an eye on all that stuff for you here. I'm the pit reporter, since Fox doesn't use theirs.
looks like rubber has set in on the track pretty good here, despite the bit of rain that we had yesterday. So it wasn't a terribly green racetrack for these drivers to start on, and it doesn't look like we're getting any issues there with rubber getting laid down on the track. That's good news for these drivers. And Christopher Bell, mention him trying to make his way up from the front set. He makes a pass in turn 1 on Todd Gilliland. Let's pick up Joey Logano further up.
Yeah, he just passed Ross Chastain as he approaches turn number 3. So move Logano. Or actually, I guess Logano did have the spot already. He's 20th. Meanwhile, battle for the lead back straightaway. Heading to turn 3. Blaney about a car length on Busch. Busch almost stopped in the middle of the corner. Blaney gets right to him, almost hit him.
Then lost the air off the nose of his number 12, so Blaney has to back away and recoil. Busch leads to turn 2 by 3 lengths.
So Kyle Busch's 3-car length lead is now reestablished. There is lap traffic ahead of the blue and white number 8. Kyle Busch's lead. Again, about 3-car lengths of Ryan Blaney.
Tyler Reddick closing in on the both of these guys here. So you got Reddick closing in, the winner from a week ago at Talladega. Busch goes high in turn 2.
Yeah, he does go high in turn 2, then heads on to the back straightaway, still with the race lead. Meanwhile, Tyler Reddick with the McDonald's colors today, looking pretty solid in that 3rd position.
Solid as those chicken McNuggies, running in the 3rd position, closing in on Busch and Blaney.
You can't beat those McNuggets.
No, you can't.
For me, I like their fries, and don't forget the Big Mac.
Oh, those
the
fries!
Big Mac's good.
Oh, those fries are they're the best fast food fries, I think. Leaders in traffic.
I agree. Now let's stop real quick because we get the food. We'll never get back to the race.
Yes. Kyle Busch and Ryan Blaney having to go around the outside of Carson Hocevar to put him, Zane Smith to put him a lap down. Now Tyler Reddick will do the same in turn 1 around the bottom.
It's by the Zane Smith machine, so Reddick now will clear him to 3rd. Busch maintains about a car length and a half lead on Blaney. Then it is Reddick. Byron, Hamlin, Gregson, McDowell, Allmendinger, Briscoe, Bowman, your current top 10.
So Reddick with a strong start here, just hiding in line, if you will, in the 3rd position and just staying in touch of the leaders. Top 3 separated by just 1 second.
Yep, so good action at the front, but Ryan Blaney is just really hounding Kyle Busch, a mirror full of worth for Kyle Busch right about now. His lead, 0.2 of a second.
Yeah, Blaney continues to close in. Here they come up out of turn number 4. Blaney's within a car length of Busch here. They dive into turn 1, and Blaney's going for the lead. He's to the bottom of Kyle Busch.
As they head to turn 2, Blaney has the inside, but Busch surging back on the outside with momentum off the exit at 2. He'll clear Blaney halfway down the back stretch and keep the lead. Blaney now is going to try and pack it in as Busch washes up the track. He washed up too high. New leader at Dover, Ryan Blaney.
Blaney clears Busch, comes across the nose of that number 8, and Ryan Blaney is the new leader. First lead change comes at the completion of lap 34. This is just the 3rd time that Ryan Blaney has ever led a lap in a Cup Series race at Dover. It's his 14th career Dover start, only the 3rd time he has led here. He's the new leader of the Worth 400. Kyle Busch falls in line 2nd. Tyler Reddick is 3rd. 4th is William Byron. 5th is Denny Hamlin. Seth with the rest of the top 10.
6th is Noah Gregson. Michael McDowell is 7th. 8th is A.J. Allmendinger. 9th is Chase Briscoe. And 10th is Martin Truex Jr.
Austin Dillon just made a pass on the exit of turn 4, getting around the Daniel Hemrick machine. So Dillon moves up a place outside the top 20 in the first half of the field, that battle. But Dillon, we talk about the struggles of RCR. He's trying to get closer to the front, but he runs 25th. In the running order after making that pass, some 20 seconds behind his teammate Kyle Busch. Let's pick up a battle for 2nd in turn 3.
Yeah, Busch might be losing 2nd to Tyler Reddick as Reddick now goes way to the inside and he'll make the pass stick. Well, no, he won't. Busch coming back.
Busch, a good run off the top of turn 4, propels down the straightaway, holds on to 2nd for now as the leaders are starting to run up on some traffic again.
Indeed they are, but Ryan Blaney's lead is now about a 6 or 7 car length advantage. So he's trying to ratchet it up just a little bit. Oh boy, they're getting racing in front of him though.
Yeah, including Corey Heim in his first career Cup Series start, who just got around John Hunter Nemechek. Those two teammates are battling right in front of Blaney.
Indeed they are. So Ryan Blaney with the race lead over Tyler Reddick, and the two legacy cars right in front of him. Here's Nemechek to the inside of Heim with Blaney stalking him, and Blaney slows up. That allows Reddick to get momentum caution.
Yellow flag flying here at the flag stand for the first time this afternoon, and there's a car spun. The leaders just passed it. There's a car spun on the exit of Turn 4 onto the main straightaway. We're hearing that it's Todd Gilliland, which is a real shame in the A&W Ford. And we're just waiting to get confirmation of that, but the leaders did just pass that spun race car on the bottom here right at the flag stand just about.
It was Gilliland. So that's unfortunately the root beer's a bit too warm on that one.
That's a shame. Have you had a root beer lately?
I don't drink root beer.
I couldn't tell you the last time I had a root beer. Could not tell you.
I don't like it. I don't know why. I tried it, but I don't like it. There it is. But Root Beer Float Day is August something.
National Root Beer Float Day on August 6th. Now here's a question. Why are they running that car in April?
You know, if I had the answer to that question, I probably wouldn't be here right now.
Ooh,
well,
came up and in
somebody
to Austin Dillon. Well, we talked about that earlier. You dive hard down into these corners, and then when you come up out of the corners, you literally come up. It's like you go up into the air. The tires could come up off the ground the way you propel up out of the corners. And Gilliland to the inside of Dillon just lost the nose of the car, the right front, clanged into the side of Dillon, and around went Gilliland.
The cheese curds are burnt on that 38 machine.
Have you ever eaten at an A&W?
Yes, I have. Now, not anymore. There used to be in Gaffney, but but not anymore. There still is one in Spartanburg, an A&W at Long John Silver's.
See, I've never eaten it. I've never seen an A&W restaurant. Couldn't tell you where there's one at down here, so I've never eaten at one. Now, I'll tell you what I did so last week, would have been last Saturday, first time I ever ate at Culver's. Now that was good.
Oh.
Now that was good.
It is.
I'd had multiple people tell me, you gotta try Culver's. That was really good. They are having a time getting Todd Gilliland's car pointed the right direction. He fell out. The car spun down to the apron here. Told you earlier, there's quite a bit of banking here on the straightaways. The straights are banked at 9 degrees. But he spun down on the flat apron, and there are flat tires on the car, thus why this is become such a difficult proposition. Both of the left side tires are flat. I think the right front is also flat, so they are having a heck of a time down there pulling Gilliland's car from the flat apron onto the banking, and I think they're going to have to pull him onto the track and onto pit road. They're still fumbling around with it. Oh my gosh. He's losing so many laps in this process.
Well, the crew chief, Ryan Burgety at the 38, is none too pleased, saying, quote, "This is wonderful, dude. They do better than this on an effing short track on a Saturday night? This is so stupid, dude. Is this their first effing time doing this? That's a valid question."
I mean, look at this.
And he has every right to be upset. He's losing laps here.
They're still fumbling it around down here. You got one official that steps into the window to talk with Todd. I wouldn't do that. Now,
I'll be right back. I'm going to give you something to drink. I'll be right back in just a second.
Now they're going to get
Alexander Ross has had a problem. His wheel went off as he went off course. So
Lord. Now they're going to get it harnessed to the front tires, and they're going to literally pull him out off of the apron here. Not the best look for the crew here in Dover. My gosh. So, that's become a mess. Anyway, once they are able to finally pull Gilliland's car free, they'll open pit road, and we'll have pit stops here, and we'll get our first look at this very narrow and sometimes dangerous Dover pit road. In fact, it looks like they are opening up pit road right now, and they are. So all the leaders going to file to pit road. Speed limit here 35 miles an hour. Everyone crawls down. Mention the pit boxes here are very small. The pit lane itself is extremely narrow. Everybody getting in and likely to change 4 tires.
Narrow pit road, it's a busy place as the 43 gets turned around by Tyler Reddick exiting his pit. They'll have to back up and, sorry Corey Heim, rough introduction to the Cup Series there.
Tyler Reddick yeeted Corey Heim right out of the way right there.
Sure did.
This is getting completely out of control with you, Kevin. You don't even know what yeeted is.
Wow, 4 wide off the end of pit road there.
Yeah, they were 4 wide coming off of pit road, and everybody just ducking and dodging everyone. Let's see if we can figure out what happened to Corey.
That's why we don't explain it to you.
And there it is.
See? Yeeted him.
He's been yeeted.
So, yeah, Tyler Reddick coming out of his box, turning out and into Corey Heim coming into his box. And poor Corey in his first career start. First career pit stop made in the Cup Series, and he gets turned into his pit stall. And that leads us into figuring out how in the world Kevin Harvick knows what the term yeeted means.
Oh, God. That's something to come back to.
Finally, they've dug Gilliland's car off the apron. Now they're pulling him around turns 3 and 4. He's probably lost the better part of 5-6 laps by now. Like, his race is over. Yeah, he is 6 laps down and likely to lose another one by the time he gets on and off of pit road. What a disaster.
His race is over. Hey, speaking of over real quick, this is a little bit personal to a degree, I guess you could say, but allow me to change sports to make a quick announcement real quick. Are you there?
Yep, carry on.
Happy retirement, Candace Parker.
Oh, she retired. Wow. She's been doing it a long time.
3-time WNBA champ, 2-time WNBA MVP, 2-time gold medalist, 7-time WNBA All-Star, 7-time All-WNBA First Team, 2020 WNBA Defensive Player of the Year, 2016 WNBA Finals MVP, 2013 WNBA All-Star MVP, 2008 WNBA Rookie of the Year, and oh yeah, 2 natties at the University of Tennessee.
And a job at TNT.
Yep. So congratulations, Candace. What a career.
Great career. Well, and that can lead us into saying, boy, are we excited for the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, baby. We are ready to go. Starting in August, USRN coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. It's just going to be a phenomenal sight. Meanwhile, there's been...
Cut the crap. It's not the phenomenal sight. It's a phenomenal hour for us. That's what's phenomenal.
Yeah, well, no doubt. Apparently, there's been more drama on pit road with perhaps Christopher Bell. And maybe
I'll get on that.
Maybe we'll get word on that, and we also have to figure out if there's any damage to Tyler Reddick after yeeting Corey Heim on pit road.
Delana tweeted. I guess this is a quote tweet to a Fox tweet announcing that Harvick would practice Larson's car. Delana quotes it, "I was driving when Pops called and said, 'Can you pull over? I've got something to run by you.'"
Here's what happened to Christopher Bell. We're finally seeing it on screen. Oh, they dropped the jack. He went away. Didn't have the left front tire bolted on. That's a good catch, though, by the team to have him reverse, get the lug nut tight, because, of course, if had he lost that tire on the track, that would have been a one-lap penalty and a multi-week penalty to a number of crew members. Not a lot of damage to the right front of Reddick. There is some scuff marks, but I don't think anything that's going to affect the car after the contact with Heim. But pit road very well could be the place where the most damage gets done in this race. Ryan Blaney, who was the leader coming onto pit road, did win the race coming off, followed by William Byron, Tyler Reddick, and Denny Hamlin. And that is the way they will come to this restart, which will come just shy of the 50-lap mark. This first stage, 120 laps. Meanwhile, for Todd Gilliland, who brought out the caution with that spin, we talked about how the struggles to get him off the track, or back onto the track, rather. He is back on track, 6 laps down.
That's a shame.
That is a shame. Blaney and Byron, the double Bs on the front row, Ford and Chevrolet. Blaney on the inside, goes early in the restart zone, takes the green flag, and gets the whole shot on William Byron, and Blaney will show the way on this restart to turn 1.
Blaney clear to the lead. Meanwhile, Byron to the outside of Reddick for P2. So Blaney to the lead. Byron now slices in front of Reddick. Side by side at 4th. That's Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin's way up the racetrack. He went way up the racetrack.
Picks it up after losing a couple of positions. Hamlin files in line behind a couple of SHR Fords, Noah Gregson and Chase Briscoe. Martin Truex might look to get around Hamlin here.
Truex to the inside of Hamlin on the back straightaway. Meanwhile, Ricky Stenhouse there. Whoa! Kyle Larson and Brett Keselowski nearly had it coming together. Keselowski went low. Larson with a rather late block, it has to be said.
And they're both trying to get around Alex Bowman, which they cannot do. Meanwhile, Truex has put a nose in front of Hamlin, but he hasn't completed that pass either for 7th.
Meanwhile, Stewart-Haas teammates battling at 5th. Noah Gregson and Chase Briscoe side by side on the approach to turn 3. Gregson on the outside, Briscoe a little bit of a wiggle on the inside.
Boy, it has to be a terrific sight for Tony Stewart and Gene Haas to see their cars battling for a top 5 position. It hasn't happened a lot lately, but it is right here. Gregson v. Briscoe.
Yeah, Briscoe on the inside of Gregson to try and get that 5th position. He's going to be clear, and he'll make the pass stick going to turn 3. Welcome to the top 5, Chase Briscoe.
Noah Gregson slips to 6th. Martin Truex Jr. did just complete the pass on Denny Hamlin. What did happen to Denny?
He just wiggled when he should have wobbled, or wobbled when he should have wiggled, and up the hill he went. Allow me to bring back an old broadcast term. And I say old broadcast term, only one broadcaster ever used it. That car took a mini D-Dido.
Yeah, it did. It landed hard into the corner and just bottomed out at the entrance to the corner. Kyle Larson has finally passed teammate Alex Bowman. Now he's going after A.J. Allmendinger. Kyle Larson is going somewhere.
That he is in that number 5 automobile. It's Ryan Blaney still at the front. Brad Keselowski running in 14th for following the Michigander as he tries to snap that long winless drought.
Yeah, he's following Chase Elliott. Both of those two started middle to back of the pack. They're making their way to the front, right behind Alex Bowman, who's around the outside of A.J. Allmendinger.
Here to the inside goes Keselowski. He'll battle Elliott on the back straightaway. Keselowski now to the inside of Elliott, still side by side in turns 3 and 4.
He comes out of turn number 4. Keselowski walked up the track a little bit, was able to stay off of Elliott, but as those two battle, it's bringing Chris Buescher into that scrum.
Yeah, indeed he is. Let's watch this a minute. That got close.
Yeah.
Very, very close.
Elliott stays in front of Keselowski, just cut across his nose at the entrance to turn 3. Mentioned Buescher closing in on that battle. So too is Darrell Wallace Jr. Just past the 50-lap mark of 120 in this first stage, and it is still a smoke show in the cockpit of the Ryan Preece car. Wow.
Yeah, I thought we only got smoky in Tennessee, but apparently they brought the smoke show to Delaware.
I can't believe that isn't a safety issue.
What now?
I can't believe that's not a safety issue that
I can't
NASCAR
either.
is taking exception to. That just seems, I don't know. I'm very surprised they haven't called him in yet. Back at the front, Kyle Busch is closing in on Tyler Reddick in a fight for third. Also, Martin Truex Jr. is closed in on both of the SHR cars at 5th and 6th. And here's Ross Chastain in turn 1, trying to pick up a position.
Yeah, he's going. Well, I thought he was going to get it. That's Ty Gibbs, I believe he's racing with. Outside on Chastain, though. So Chastain's Moose-mobile will have to go. We'll have to lose the spot for say, but as soon as I say that, he dives it in turn 4.
Woo! And comes up right across the nose of Gibbs. Takes the air off the nose of that Monster Energy Toyota. And the position does go to Chastain, 17th, as he makes the move on Gibbs. Let's go to turn 3.
Truex now to the inside of Briscoe for the 6th position. And Martin Truex Jr. coming into play. You figured the Bass Pro Shops car will be in the mix all day long.
Yeah, Gregson had repassed Briscoe. Now Briscoe is passed by Truex, so that's Truex to 6th, Briscoe back to 7th, and Denny Hamlin just in behind at the 8th position. The leader is Ryan Blaney. Took the lead just past the 30-lap mark from pole sitter Kyle Busch. It's Blaney, Byron, Reddick, Busch, and Gregson the top 5. Denny Hamlin just swooped to 7th, getting by Chase Briscoe, and Kyle Larson has broken into the top 10. He is the betting favorite to win this race today, is Larson, despite starting in the middle of the pack. But
now, that surprises me. I would have thought Truex would have been the... What in the... Okay, hold on a second here. I am speechless at what's happening in Birmingham. Apparently, there was some kind of a dummy doll on top of one of the bridges here at the track. It just fell off and somebody ran over part of it.
Oh, jeez.
I have never seen anything like that. At first, I thought it was another idiot protester like that F1 race that time. But apparently, it is a plaster, not a doll. It's like a dummy doll. I guess is the best way I can describe it to you. There's another term I could use, but I don't want to say that on the air. But yeah, it's a dummy doll.
Oh my God. And that was life size. I thought you were talking about like a rag doll. That was a life size thing. Oh, that
yeah, it was a life-size dummy doll.
I don't know.
You're still seeing it.
I don't know who went by that, but whoever went by that was probably panicking.
New diaper change.
Oh my gosh.
Hold on just 1 second.
Now that... Oh. Unreal.
We're hearing that thing's usually tied up, but that it failed. Never mind that. Why is that even there to begin with?
No kidding.
That's creepy.
There's
an Alabama joke that can be made somewhere.
What in the wide world of sports is going on today at Barber? My gosh.
Anyway, I am so sorry that I am not focusing on what we're doing here, but I just saw that out of the corner of my eye, and I was aghast.
When you first said it, I did. I thought you meant like a rag doll, something that a child sleeps with. But to see it fall down and it being life-size, that was staggering to see.
And like I said, somebody ran over it. I think it was Santino Ferrucci, maybe?
Oh, that probably did damage to the car.
Well, maybe it wasn't Ferrucci because he's still running well in 4th. But yeah, somebody ran over a piece of it. I mean, I have never in my life. You hang around sports long enough, you're liable to see anything.
Golly day.
Wow.
We'll figure out what Lee Diffie said about that.
Let's regain our composure.
Yes.
Well, the hot lap just got spicier at the end of stage 2.
Now there's some people that's saying it's a mannequin.
Okay, I don't care what it is. I don't care. That does not need to be there. No. I don't even know if I want to know why it's there.
Oh my gosh.
Someone on Twitter said, we have a dummy down.
Holy cow. My gosh.
Update in all seriousness, Ryan Preece has taken his car to the garage to fix the fire smoking door foam.
And now Stingray Rob has crashed. at Barber.
You're ahead of me because I haven't seen it yet.
Lord,
oh,
have
now I
mercy.
see it. Oh, whammo!
They have had a day in Birmingham. He's crashed all by himself. Anyway, well, after that excitement, let's pick up what's going on here at Dover. Martin Truex Jr., he's going somewhere. Kyle Larson is going to that same place but faster. Larson has quickly dispatched of Bowman, Stenhouse, Gregson, and Hamlin. Larson is up to 6th. Truex is 5th. The lead still belongs to Ryan Blaney, who leads by about 6 or 7 car lengths on William Byron. You never know what's going to happen on some of these broadcasts, don't you know?
That's why I love it. You know,
God help us if something like that happens when we're on the call. I will lose my mind.
You know, on the one hand, Sunday's kind of a mixed day for me because it means tomorrow's Monday. It means in my world, I am now hit the stage in my life where I do have a job that usually requires me to work every Monday. So that part of it stinks. But you know what? I do love Sundays and the fact that I get to hang out and broadcast races. The unpredictability and every race has a, contrary to what some people will say, every race broadcast we do has a novelty to it. And it's a real box of chocolates thing. It's, whoa, A.J. Allmendinger's going somewhere. Chase Briscoe is falling like a rock.
Yeah, he just fell to 13th.
He's falling like that dummy doll did.
Allmendinger just made the pass up to 13th, passing Briscoe. So Briscoe, who was just, 5th, 10 or 15 laps ago, back down to 13th now.
Oh, well, you got to clip my reaction to that in that whole sequence.
So Briscoe struggling mightily. He is crew chief by Richard Boswell. If you didn't know that, just look at your screen. I don't know why we needed a full screen graphic on that. Here's Ryan Blaney flashing across the line. 6 car lengths his advantage on William Byron. The leaders are in turn 2.
They blame that dummy doll. But anyway, Blaney leads by 3 car lengths with that dummy doll in the truck. Blaney leads, Byron second. Blaney now goes to the inside of Todd Gilliland.
Getting around Gilliland, putting him a 7th lap down. Tyler Reddick is a 2.5 off the lead, running in 3rd. Pretty sure that's where he's been running the entire race. Meanwhile, behind him, Martin Truex Jr. picks off another one. He's 4th, getting by Kyle Busch.
Yeah, the 19 has come to life here at lap 76, and a lot of people, like I said, I was very surprised to learn that he was not the betting favorite here. He's so good here. He won here last year. And he has a real knack for this place. And as we said in Ones to Watch, it's one of his 27 home tracks.
And, of course, his first career win was here back in 2007.
Yeah. That was on a Monday, too, oddly enough.
It was. And, of course, he's got something to live up to now, doesn't he? Because last year, his brother won the Xfinity race, and there was pressure on him to make it a Truex sweep, and he did. Fast forward to this year, his brother won the Xfinity race yesterday, a wild one. And now Martin again has to live up to that to complete another Truex weekend sweep. Something about the Truexes at Dover.
Yeah, thanks for spoiling my hop lap there, Fatso, but anyway.
Got plenty more to talk about.
Yeah, we do. Byron's got a run, though, here on the main straightaway.
Closing in on Blaney, right to the bumper cover of the Worth Ford. Blaney takes it to the middle of turns 1 and 2. Byron creeps higher.
Yeah, he does creep higher. Byron now trying to reel Blaney in. He goes for the crossover. Here's Byron packing it to the inside in turn 3. Blaney still has the lead, but Byron gets right there. Good drive in the center of the corner. New leader at Dover, William Byron.
Completes the pass cleanly. William Byron goes to the lead, becomes the 3rd different leader of the Worth 400 in 80 laps.
So he's got that Liberty machine off and running. He has a top 10 in his last 5 races, which includes a pair of victories at Coda and Martinsville. He also won the Daytona 500. So 3 wins already for Byron. Many think he's a title favorite. On that form, he certainly is.
Yeah, sure is. Meanwhile, Kyle Larson back at 6th. He is starting to run down Kyle Busch. Telling you what, the best cars here might not be the top 3 or 4 right now. Well, the top 3. I think the best cars here are 19 and 5.
I would agree with that assessment. I think that's if it's going to be a battle today, it might be 19 and 5 for the win. Graphic just showing us now that Truex has won 4 times here at Dover.
Yep, won that race in 2007 on a Monday, driving for the DEI team for his first career win.
Down the back straightaway, and there goes Truex. He'll drive in at turn 3, just so smooth. Let's go further back in the field. Chase Briscoe continuing to drop. He is now in 17th, and he's about to lose that spot to Ty Gibbs on the back straightaway. Gibbs going in at turn 3. Dives in. Briscoe maintains the spot, but Gibbs has the preferred lane and the better car, would appear.
Big bobble with the nose of that 14 through the middle of 3 and 4. That car is handling ill, and he will lose this spot to Ty Gibbs.
Indeed it was. Indeed it is. So Briscoe, continuing to just fall back through the field. It's still Byron at the front.
And Tyler Reddick has closed in on Ryan Blaney as well. Of course, Reddick, he looked like the longer that first run went on that he was getting closer to the top 2. And now that we've gone pretty deep here in this second run, he's closing in on the top 2 once again.
Indeed. Oh, I thought someone had crashed. It's showing a replay. Okay. They're showing a replay. Oh, my goodness. But, yeah, I'm with you. It's going to come down, I think, to cars 19 and 5, at least early. Now, granted, early is the operative word here, but...
Well, the other thing about Dover, too, these are long races, and the track will change dramatically, as concrete can do. And you never know how a track and how a car might change. Now, we talk about Chase Briscoe losing spots rapidly after running momentarily at 5th. His teammate Noah Gragson is facing the same fate. He has dropped completely outside of the top 10 as well. Brad Keselowski has closed in on him, so as they flash across the line and make their way back to turns 1 and 2, Keselowski goes after Gragson for the 12th position.
So Keselowski trying to go by the limping Todd Gilliland machine on the back straightaway. Has a good run on Gragson, does Keselowski. But it is still, here's Keselowski to the inside of Gragson. Gragson on the outside. He'll keep the spot.
So Gragson holds on to 12th for now. Keselowski's done well to move up the field here methodically, running in 13th.
Indeed. Methodically moving up through this field is that number 6 of Brad Keselowski. So he'll continue to move. Meanwhile, you're not missing anything at the front. It's William Byron by a half second over Ryan Blaney.
Christopher Bell just passed Chase Briscoe, so that's another spot lost by Briscoe. He's back to 21st.
Yeah, and apparently we're hearing reports that he almost lost the car in turn 2, made a very good save, but so something is very evil on that 14 machine.
Yeah, I mean, it took off on the short run, but boy, every single lap, that car gets worse and worse. Boy, Keselowski just had the air taken off the nose of his car by Gragson. Gragson driving very defensive here.
Indeed he is. Whoa! Boy, the 15 there, Kaz Gralla, a roadblock almost. Keselowski almost ran in the back of him, but he does make the pass stick on Gralla. Of course, it's not for position. He's trying to lap him, but could have been disastrous.
Yeah, and Keselowski would really like to make this pass on Gragson quick. Gregson's holding Keselowski up, and Darrell Wallace Jr. is closing in.
Yeah, he is, so you better be careful here. Not to lose that particular position. So as they continue in there, hey, let's give a call to somebody, knock on wood. How about the 47 car, Ricky Stenhouse Jr.? He's had a solid day so far.
You said earlier that this track is Bristol on steroids. We know Ricky Stenhouse Jr. loves Bristol. He's got something at these concrete racetracks. He qualified top 10, and he is running in the 10th position for Tad and Jody Geschechter's team. That's a strong run for the 47. Can tell you that Ryan Preece did go behind the wall. Seth mentioned that he did come to pit road. He now is behind the wall, Preece. He's off the track, not out of the race, but he's running 37th and last. We haven't talked much about Christopher Bell here lately, other than he just made that pass a moment ago on Chase Briscoe. Remember, Bell was one of the guys that we've been following here after struggling yesterday in qualifying, had to start at the back. He's moved up to 20th. He had that rough pit stop earlier, the only pit stop we've had under caution where they dropped the jack and he left, then had to reverse back into his box to tighten up the lug nut on the left front. He's running in 20th as William Byron, our leader, is about to get into a bunch of traffic.
He absolutely is. A lot of cars in his way, and that's going to allow Ryan Blaney to catch back up to him. So it's Byron with the lead by about a couple of car lengths. He goes to the inside. Justin Haley, the first lap car in the way.
Yeah, and all of these guys are on the tail end of the lead lap. They have not been lapped yet, so they are going to race hard for these positions and to stay on the lead lap. One of them is Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, and Corey Himes in that mess as well. Or actually, that's not what we're looking at here. That's Jimmy Johnson's onboard. So, okay, it is Corey Himes in that mess. Okay, I don't know why we're going to his onboard all of a sudden. But anyway, Byron still leads.
Harrison Burton is in there. Daniel Suarez is in there too. Here's Byron in turn one to the inside of Haley in the Walmart machine.
Yeah, indeed. And no blue light specials today as Byron gets past him. And now here is two cars racing ahead of him there. Like, is that Johnson and then who's that other car? Can't quite make it out.
Michael McDowell in the Pete store.
Oh, God, he was in the top 10 earlier at the start of the race.
He qualified top 10, and he has fallen back to 32nd. Byron trying to get around him here.
Yeah, Byron now off of turn 2. That's a bit of a tight spot just in front of Haley with Johnson and McDowell right in front of him. Byron now will drift up to the high side of the racetrack, and he will still be about 3 car lengths back of Blaney, who is now falling into the clutches of Reddick.
Yeah, Blaney trying to get through this traffic, too, as Byron slices to the inside of McDowell in turn 2.
So it is Byron to the lead now. Blaney in second with Reddick right behind. Ryan Blaney says he doesn't know how they got so fast. He's saving the whole run. So issues there as Reddick goes for second.
Oh, boy, and it is tight coming out of turn 4. Reddick was leaning over on the left door of Blaney. They avoid contact. Still that fight for second continues in 2.
Yeah, indeed it does. Reddick, though, going to stay in front of Blaney for the position. So it's William Byron still leading. And now you got Tyler Reddick inside of Ryan Blaney for P2. Now Truex is going to get third from Blaney.
Yeah, Truex gets to the inside of Blaney. Reddick up to second. Now Blaney and Truex fight for third. They're in turn 2.
Side by side. Truex inside. Blaney on the outside. Truex has the preferred line. He'll try to clear him off too. Blaney, though, fighting back. Kyle Busch has the best seat in the house for that battle. Blaney on the high side. Wow. Truex, though, packs it in. And he will take third.
Wow, he was on the throttle right in the apex of the corner, Truex. Made that pass so easy. Meanwhile, Tyler Reddick slicing and dicing through lap traffic, and Truex closes right in.
Yeah, he had a time trying to get around Justin Haley there, but he did. Truex now gets by Gilliland, now sets his sights on Reddick. Jimmy Johnson gives way on the high side of the racetrack. You are right, that is not exactly an aesthetically pleasing car.
I'm telling you what, if Truex can accelerate in the center of the corner and off like that, he's going to be around Reddick here in about 2 laps. Here he is, Truex, getting around Johnson to apply the pressure on Reddick.
We'll try to put the pressure on Reddick. And Byron, that's allowed Byron to tiptoe through the traffic and extend his lead a second and a half over this battle for second between Reddick and Truex.
I'm telling you what, Truex just blew right past Austin Dillon. Dillon was right in Truex's way. It didn't matter. Truex passed him, gets around Johnson. He's right on Reddick. Austin Dillon off the pace has about half a dozen cars streaming by him.
Yeah, half of that. Yeah, I was going to say half of that might be that there's an issue with the 3 car, and I believe there is. Whoa, almost got ran over as he headed down the pit road there. And so a problem for Austin Dillon, so we're going to check on that as he brings that black and light blue number 3 down the pit.
Meanwhile, William Byron the leader by 1.8 seconds. He has been able to dangle through the traffic brilliantly here and push his lead on the 2 Toyotas behind him up by nearly 2 seconds.
Todd Gilliam believes he's corded his tires.
Well, we talked about tires earlier.
Flat tire for Austin Dillon.
We talked about tires earlier now. Now, could this be that first run that we went on was only about 40 laps? This has been about a 50-lap run, longest we've gone green flag on tires so far. Could this be the drop-off point on tires? We'll see. Byron the leader, with Reddick behind him second. Truex is third. Blaney is fourth. Pole sitter Kyle Busch rides in the fifth position as the field scrambles through turns 1 and 2. Mention all of the amount of lanes you can pick from in the corners here. It's what makes this track so racy. Here's Kyle Larson coming up out of turn number 4. He was able to dig deep on the inside, find a lane to get by Kyle Busch. So Kyle passes Kyle. Larson's up to 5th.
I'll tell you right now, Larson might have the second best car. That might be all it is, best in show. That 19's got is on it. I think he's on a different wavelength than the rest of the field as he again tries to work on Reddick.
Yeah, tried to move up the banking that time in 3 and 4. Didn't really work for him, but Truex is applying the pressure to Tyler Reddick here, a second and a half off the lead.
So so Reddick continues to hold the spot. Truex continuing to try and reel him in. It is worth noting we are getting toward the business end of this opening stage, which has, like you said, it's a long race. Stages feel pretty long too.
Yeah, 120 laps this first stage, 130 the second. Kyle Busch might be about to lose another position. Denny Hamlin works to his inside and gets by in turn 2.
So the Mavis Tires machine moves up to the number 6 position as Hamlin passes his former teammate Kyle Busch. So Denny Hamlin to P6.
So Hamlin moves up to 6th. Busch slips to 7th. Looks like Busch will be very ready for this stage caution to come out to get some fresh shoes on his automobile. Meanwhile...
Oh, boy, Byron slipped a little off too, and Reddick has caught Byron for the race lead. They've got the lap car Daniel Suarez ahead of him. Byron goes way high. Reddick packs it in way low.
These are the exact things we started to see at Bristol. When you hit the drop-off point on these tires, you hit a brick wall. Byron's lead was 2 seconds just a couple of laps ago. Now it's nothing.
Yeah, Reddick on the inside. Byron, though, on the outside keeps the lead. He'll see if he can maybe use Suarez as a pick. He goes to the outside in turn 3. Byron way up the track. What are we doing here?
Well, this was
a minute ago.
This was a couple laps ago, right when Reddick closed in on Byron out of turn 4. They nearly made contact. This is for the stage win with 8 to go in the stanza.
Don't count Truex out of this stage win either. Suarez right in front of Byron. He is holding these top 3 up. Byron will go up high. Reddick will go high. Now he'll go about a half a groove lower, but he better be careful because Truex is going lower than that.
Yeah, Truex got to his inside, now to his left elbow as they cross the line. Byron pulls away just a bit, but Truex goes after second, and he can flatten that throttle out in the middle of the corner and go.
Yeah, bye-bye Reddick, and now he's going to set his sights and go meep on William Byron here. Inside in 3 and 4. Byron a little bit side. Oh, Truex just blew right by him with that center corner acceleration.
Gets Byron back on the outside, but I don't think Byron's going to have any fight here. He can't get around Daniel Suarez for some reason, and Truex is taking advantage.
And then he almost sent Suarez up the hill. So Truex goes to the lead. Byron now tries to follow suit. Byron again still having trouble getting around Suarez. Now Reddick gets nearly in the back of Byron.
Yeah, Byron's driven the right front tire off that car, and I think we're seeing some similarities here to the tire fall-off that we had at Bristol. The leader is Martin Truex Jr., to no surprise. That car, oh my gosh.
It is flying around here. To the inside at turns 3 and 4. Truex with the race lead by a little more than half a second.
Well, remember, he was second in that race at Bristol, and if there's a driver in this series that you could say, who would you want to put out on a 50 or 60 lap run and save tires the best? Martin Truex Jr. would probably be your first or second choice on that.
Yep, got another lap car ahead of him. That's the John Hunter Nemechek automobile. Truex, though, continues to drives smoothly, and Byron still cannot get around Suarez.
Yeah, William Byron is not going to be sending a Christmas card out to Daniel Suarez at this rate. He's ruined Byron's chances to win this stage.
Yeah, Suarez still holding him up. Byron still cannot get around him. Meanwhile, 4th place, Kyle Larson to the inside of Ryan Blaney. Got caution on the speedway.
Yellow flag flying, and Brad Keselowski is spun at the top of turn 2. Cars going left and right to avoid him. Now that looks like a flat right rear tire for Keselowski. So I think that we have found the tire fall off point here. Keselowski loops it around. He gets it pointed the right direction. But it did look like the right rear tire at least was down on Keselowski's car. Remember at Bristol at the end of the first stage, Kyle Busch had a flat right rear tire and spun. He was trying to get around Noah Gragson and just lost it on the inside. Now, don't know if the flat tire is what caused the spin or if it's a result of the spin. This stage is going to end under caution. Good avoidance by Darrell Wallace Jr. splitting the difference between Wallace's spinning car and the wall. Same can be said for Christopher Bell and Josh Berry. But this has a lot of similarities to what we saw at Bristol just a handful of weeks back. And I think that's what we saw with Byron. Now, Byron was getting held up by Suarez, too, but I think he had just driven the right front off of that car. And just a huge piece of carcass from the tire of Keselowski lying in the middle of the road on the backstretch. And again, just like we had at Bristol, Truex was one of the best at saving tires that day and ended up finishing second, nearly won the race. Finished second, and he has just methodically worked his way to the lead here, and he is going to get a stage win because of it. So Martin Truex Jr. comes to the green and white checkered flag, and he wins stage 1 of the Worth 400 while under caution. It's his second stage win of the season for Truex. Byron comes home second, Reddick third, Blaney fourth, and Larson fifth. Truex takes stage 1.
Yeah, so that was a pretty good race.
Oh. Well, and again,
pretty good stage, I'm sorry.
We might be into a tire race just like we had at Bristol. So, Truex, the stage 1 winner. It's his second stage win, as I mentioned, of the season. So we, as mentioned, we're on JBM today, so we're not taking breaks.
Oh, let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and pull up the birthdays and on this day in racing history here. Yep, doing double duty on that, filling in for the great Matt White. His presence is missed.
Be back with us in Kansas next week, one of his favorite tracks.
Never thought I'd be saying this about 10 years ago. It's become one of mine, too. God, that place has become an absolutely fantastic. Towards the tail end of the old car was getting good. Now with this car, oh my God, it's fantastic. All right, so let's start with on this day in racing history. I've got it pulled up, if you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
On this day in 2019, one of the more heads-up moments in USRN broadcasting history, when Chase Elliott won the Geico 500 after a last-lap crash in which our own Darrell Kinsey Jr. was the only one that spotted Kyle Larson's car going up in the air. Great work out of him. And Chase winning a wild day, that race that day. On this day in 2018, Spencer Gallagher took the Xfinity Series Sparks Energy 300. On this day in 2012, it was Kyle Busch winning in the Cup Series at Richmond. Hey, Bubba Wallace was a winner on this day, winning on this day in 2011 with the K&N Pro Series East at Richmond. Also, on this day in 2007, Joey Logano won the Busch East Series Grease Lightning 150 at the Greenville Pickens Speedway. Also on this day in 2007, and he gets it, Bobby Labonte winning the Aaron's 312 at Talladega. We mentioned Jimmy Johnson earlier. His first career win happened on this day in 2002, winning the Napa Auto Parts 500 at California. On this day in 2001 was one of the 2 Busch Series wins for Hank Parker Jr., winning the Auto Club 300 at California. More NASCAR. On this day in 1996, Sterling Marlin won the Winston Select 500, in which Ricky Craven and Bill Elliott both... Oh, there's the new D mascot! There he is, and there's the Towson mascot. We are close to Maryland. Oh, look at this! It's twice I've been thrown off today. They got to stop with that. Sterling Marlin winning at Talladega on this day, where Bill Elliott and Ricky Craven both suffered absolutely terrible crashes. Earnhardt won at Martinsville on this day in 91. Airtime Senna won on the San Marino Grand Prix on this day in 91. Shout out Sam Posey. On this day in 1985, Harry Gant wins the Sovereign Bank 500 at Martinsville. So that gets you kind of covered on that end. Birthdays today. Happy birthday to a driver in the field, Justin Haley. Happy birthday to Haley, 25 years old, Justin Haley. So happy birthday to him, and that's the only name I know on there, though I am sure that if Matt were here, he'd know some more of those names. So.
Oh, he'd know them all.
Yeah, he would. And yet, a guy that probably doesn't watch any racing is beating us in the stage points.
That's how that goes.
I think Matt's figuring out how we feel every year when we lose bracket contests to people who only pick college basketball based on nicknames and colors.
Well, that's exactly right. That's exactly. I did see Arthur Greiner had a birthday today. Of course, that name means nothing to most people. He finished 40th in the inaugural Indianapolis 500 in 1911.
See, May is a great month. It's also one of the more frustrating months because it continues the battle of me saying truthfully that Matthew Owens is the walking encyclopedia of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and he continues to vehemently deny it, even though he pulls crap like this out of his bag.
Well, you might remember, and if you haven't been able to watch this, you'll be able to hear it. The day of the Brickyard 400, NASCAR's most important day, you'll hear in that Jimmy Spencer on that day became this generation's Arthur Greiner because he finished last in the inaugural Brickyard 400.
God almighty.
Nothing like it, Jimmy Spencer and Arthur Greiner.
I tell you, that's a freaking combo right there.
Now, do you know that the link that was shared in that between Spencer and Greiner was originally from Chicago. Jimmy Spencer had Chicago's own McDonald's on his car, making connections.
You're certainly doing that.
Oh dear! I also saw on the list today. I saw Michael Schumacher win at Spain, shocking, and I also saw Chase Pistone winning a Hooters Pro Cup race.
Yes,
that's Chase Pistone. If anybody wanted. That's a joke on TMD that they continue on.
I was going to say, why did you butcher his name? That must have been something inside. And, well,
yeah, that's something they do on TMD all the time. Pete goes to Starbucks and they call out his name. Pete Pistone? Coffee for Pistone?
Jesus God.
Oh, dear me. Also, see, there was a race on this list, the Utah Grand Prix.
The Utah Grand Prix?
That was a K&N West race won by Greg Pursley at Miller Motorsports Park. Maybe that's what they should call the new hockey team, the Utah Grand Prix.
No. Boy, nothing gets by you, does it?
I mean, they're really considering Utah Hockey Club.
Oh, God.
Can we please? Can we stop with the football club, hockey club, whatever? This is America. And just because the idiots in Washington did it once.
Okay.
I know what you're asking. What idiots in Washington? There are many of them.
Okay.
But we are on JBM, so no political commentary from us.
We don't do political commentary on USRA and any no matter how much Redbox wants us to do.
That's right. That's right. Yep.
He defied that rule all the damn time, didn't he?
Kyle says NASCAR needs more of these races where tire fall-off has to be managed. These are great to watch. Yeah, well, again, and we kind of hinted towards it earlier of would we get...
Oh, Kyle in the comments, I was going to say, how do you make that assumption from the cockpit? And which Kyle were you talking about?
No. Yes. Well, Kyle, one of Kyle Larson's many talents, of course, is commenting in the Mixler chat room during races. He'll be our in-race.
He's got that Chat GPT going on the wheel, man.
He'll be our in-race reporter at the 500. Can't wait.
Yeah, I'm sure he will.
Can't wait. He'll hear the Delta Force Open. He'll hear all of it. He'll try to finish a little bit better than Arthur Griner.
Oh my God!
Which actually he will do because Griner finished 40th that day. No one's finishing 40th this year.
That's exactly right.
Anyway, what were we talking about? Yes, we hinted at it earlier that maybe we could see something similar. We weren't going to see the exact same thing that we saw at Bristol because the track is different. It's wider, it's longer, this, that, and the other. But I think we have seen similarities with the tire fall-off here, and it's going to impact this race as we go on. Now, the fall-off at Bristol felt quick. It didn't feel very quick today, but boy, it did happen at the end of that first stage. And we'll see how it affects the rest of the race. Going to be exciting to see who can manage these tires the best. Meanwhile, we can update you in Alabama. The poor rookie Rasmussen has had a day. He's just been turned again, this time I believe by Augustine Canapino.
Scott McLaughlin with the lead there. Matt's going to be wishing we did this race.
After seeing what I've seen from this race, I wish we did this race too. This race has been wild.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen a reaction to an actual race broadcast with a mannequin.
Is that Henrik Lundqvist running in third? No, it's Linus.
Well, he can't be running first, because never finished first.
Oh boy.
You can't. When you go to his house, you can't get anything to drink because there's no cups.
And Pierre just left the conversation. He logged out.
Oh!
Pierre has logged out and unfollowed.
I forgot. Nothing personal, bud. Speaking of hockey, Winnipeg and Colorado tied at 1 at the first intermission.
John Forsland on the call because, he wasn't just in Vegas last night.
No.
Now in Denver.
Well, Jama Jackson called a 3-1 Boston win last night. No relation to Jami Zardi.
This is what happens when we can't take breaks. And why is the caution lasting so long?
I don't know.
The caution happened with 3 to go in the stage. Like, we've clicked off 13 laps under this caution. What are we doing? And furthermore, why has Fox not gone to commercial during this caution? I thought the stage breaks are where we were supposed to go to commercial, but yet they save all their commercials for green flag racing. We're finally getting one to go at the end of that soliloquy. As I go on my diatribe. And we will be coming green to start stage 2.
At least Pierre said, in all seriousness, at least Pierre could say his franchise has won the cup.
They might do it again this year.
He might.
Going for the sweep tonight.
I still like Boston.
I think I do,
I think Boston's still pretty good.
I think I do, too.
Boston and New York, probably the 2 in the East. Can't rule you guys out completely, but I just think Boston and New York have that little something extra. All right, racing time again.
Pace car off, green flag in the air. Martin Truex Jr. from the outside of row 1 with the lead, but William Byron is going after him in turn 2.
Side by side, Truex and Byron as they exit turn number 2. Truex is going to have the slight clear. He'll fully clear on the back straightaway. New leader, Truex, with Byron second, Reddick third, Blaney fourth. Now Larson to the inside of Hamlin for the 5th position.
Hamlin will stay ahead of Larson for now, and tapping the wall on the exit of turn 4 was Chase Elliott. Here's now Hamlin to the bumper cover of Ryan Blaney in turn 1, but now Hamlin walks up the track. Here comes Larson.
Boy, Alex Bowman got a good run on the outside of Kyle Busch a little further back, and Chase Elliott's in that mess. Here's Larson to the inside of Hamlin in turn number 3 as they continue to battle for the position.
Larson not giving up on this fight. Hamlin keeps it wound up topside, but Larson still to his left elbow. They dive into one. Hamlin keeps Larson pinched down on the bottom.
Hamlin with the lead, and whoa, nearly contact between he and Larson. As they go down the back straight at turn 3, they nearly touch again. These two have a bit of a history, don't you know?
Well, and Hamlin, he cut down in the middle of the straightaway and went after Larson. Now they bang door handles again on the exit of turn 4. This is a spicy fight, 11 versus 5.
Boy, I thought Larson may have shoved Hamlin into the wall in the main straightaway just a second ago.
He might.
Hamlin outside on turn 2 on the back straightaway. Here comes Larson to the inside. Going into 3, Larson will drive it in. Hamlin, though, driving it in on the outside a little bit. Great racing between two of the best in the business.
Boy, so sketchy to run this close for so many consecutive laps on this racetrack. Bowman continues to watch every step of this battle, which continues door to door.
Indeed it does, as Hamlin sideways off turn 2, to your point, to the point we made at the start of the broadcast. Larson, though, fighting on the inside. He'll try to get the spot back. Hamlin fights back outside. He's got it again.
I don't think either of these guys are saving tire. Hamlin cut down across the nose of Larson, but now Larson again digs deep on the bottom and gets alongside.
I think Larson's so desperate to get by Hamlin because he knows he's got a car that can compete with the other 4 in front of him. One of the better cars on the track today. That's why he's racing so hard to get by Hamlin.
Hamlin slings it wide on the exit of 4, gets a full run off the top of the banking, stays a nose ahead of Larson, dives it hard into 1, but Larson comes right back at him.
He does. Hamlin now is going to have the spot, but Larson on the inside, battling for the position as Larson drives it into turn 3. Larson on the inside. You don't hear that often, but you hear this a lot, though. Great drive off the corner. Larson's going to get the spot.
It took about, 5 or 6 laps to make the pass, but he finally did. Further back, Carson Hocevar and Joey Logano nearly came together. Christopher Bell on the outside of both of them may have touched the wall and drops back a couple of places.
Indeed he does. As Bell goes to the out, now Bell falls into the clutches of Daniel Hemrick. So Logano and Hocevar by. Been a rough weekend for Christopher Bell. Whoa, Hemrick went up high, and Chase Briscoe had to get out of the throttle. He's going to lose a couple spots.
And Bell, a lot of people's pick to win this race today. It just hasn't surfaced anywhere close to the front in practice speeds, qualifying, or the race yet. He's running in 21st. What a tremendous battle, though, off that restart between Hamlin and Larson to keep us entertained for 6 or 7 laps. Now Larson is away in 5th. We pick up the leaders, and Martin Truex Jr. is still ahead of William Byron. We'll call it 7 car lengths.
So Truex maintains the lead over Byron. He has now set sail in an orange and black Toyota. Meanwhile, 7th place, Alex Bowman has it. Kyle Busch wants it. Denny Hamlin's going to fall in the clutches of both of them.
Yeah, I think Hamlin has probably really driven the right front tire off of that car in that battle with Larson, and he's got a long way to go on this run. Bowman goes after him, but Bowman skates up high.
300th Career Cup Series start today for Arizona's own Alex Bowman, and he having a time with the car, but still runs inside the top 10 in the number 7 position.
Bowman, a former winner here just a couple of years back when Hendrick finished 1, 2, 3. Of course, they have a 1, 2, 3, 4 finish from earlier this year at Martinsville.
They went 1, 2, 3, 4 that day, didn't they, with Bowman?
Now, they may have.
Truex is the leader, though, by nearly a full second over Byron. Then it's Reddick. Then it's Blaney, Larson, Hamlin, Bowman, Busch, Elliott, Allmendinger, your top 10.
Tyler Reddick just stays right there in 3rd. That's where he's been the majority of this race, and I think he is in a good spot, just saving that right front tire, saving that right rear tire, and Reddick, I think, has something for everyone today when it counts the most. So Martin Truex Jr., the leader, can tell you, for you Brad Keselowski fans listening, after that spin that basically ended the stage, he did fall a lap down. He is currently in 33rd position, which is, as I count, 6th among the cars that are one lap down. So Keselowski's got some work to do to get back on the lead lap. The first car one lap down is Michael McDowell in 28th. He's off the lead lap along with Harrison Burton, Justin Haley, Zane Smith, Jimmy Johnson, Brad Keselowski, Austin Dillon, and Kaz Grala. Todd Gilliland is 11 laps down, and Ryan Preece is still off the track.
We might be getting a yellow flag finish at Barber because Rasmussen has stopped at the racetrack with 5 laps to go.
How many times has that guy been off?
Full course caution this time. He's like in the middle of the...
Oh, boy, that's a very dangerous spot to have been turned around at. Wow.
So McLaughlin might get this win under the yellow here.
I think there were... Oh, my gosh. Yeah, Canapino nearly clouded into him. Poor Rasmussen. 3 times I've seen that he's been off the track. Or
I'm calling both races.
Pointed the wrong direction, one or the other. They get him back going, and we'll see if they are able to restart that race again. Hopefully they are. Would you look at that? Penske 1-2 after the week that has been. Hasn't been the best week for IndyCar if you haven't been following. Anyway.
Let me say one more time. I'm calling both races.
So Truex, Byron, Reddick, Blaney, and Larson the top 5, and we might have a change for second in turn 3.
Yeah, Reddick to the inside of Byron for that position. Byron going to keep the spot, though, for right now.
Across the line, Byron holds on to second, but Tyler Reddick wants it. He'll take it upstairs in turns 1 and 2, going after the 24.
Indeed, he does go after it. So, it is Reddick reeling in William Byron. Byron going into turns 3 and 4, still about a car length up on Reddick.
They both stayed in the bottom of 3 and 4, so Byron holds on to that advantage of about 2 car lengths. Now they'll dive it back down into 1, and Reddick still remains in his tire tracks.
So it is Byron with the lead, then Reddick in second. Or no, excuse me, Byron second, Reddick third. So what are you doing here? Oh, God. Byron has second.
So
Go.
Byron holding off Tyler Reddick, at least for now. But again, you do get the feeling that Reddick's car gets better as the run goes on. That's what he's shown us through the first 2 runs that we've had in this race. Here come the leaders back to 3.
Truex's lead, a full second over William Byron. We've gotten to that stage. Again, we're not trying to be named. We're just telling you the truth. You have these stages in races like Dover, where you have at Dover, these races, you have a single file spread out run.
Chase Elliott back in the
old school race
position.
stuff. You guys that like that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
that's all I hear these days.
Yeah, and especially with tire management, it absolutely is an old school feel kind of race.
Chase Elliott just radioed in. Matthew said he got the wall pretty good. I think we're about to see that.
This was on the restart. I did see this, yeah. On the restart, This was behind Hamlin and Larson doing their battle. Kyle Busch touched it. Chase Elliott got it, I think, a little bit more of a touch. Byron and Reddick in 3.
Well, that battle continues hot and heavy. Byron to the center of the track, goes up a little bit. Reddick goes down a little bit. Byron still in P2.
This happening about 1.2 seconds off the lead of Martin Truex Jr. Reddick and Byron back in 2.
Reddick packs it in. Got a good run on Byron. Gets right up to the bumper, but then lost the air on the exit of 2, which allows Byron to pull away a little bit yet again. Into 3 and 4 they go. It is still Byron by about a car length over Tyler Reddick for that second position.
Meanwhile, Kyle Larson has still not been able to get by Ryan Blaney. In fact, he hasn't really been able to run him down. You have to wonder how much abuse Larson took to the right front when he was battling Denny Hamlin.
You're right. Sorry to interrupt you there. 2-lap shootout at Barber. As Ryan Blaney runs in that 4th position in the Worth Ford. Again, that's the race's sponsor.
Trying to run up on that Byron and Reddick battle. Hasn't been able to do it yet, but he is closing in. He's diamonding the corner a little bit more than anyone we've seen.
On the back straightaway, Blaney now drives it in to turns 3 at 4, running in that number 4 position. Meanwhile, Denny Hamlin trying to go upstairs and get a run on Kyle Larson.
Yeah, I do think Larson really abused the right front in that initial battle with Hamlin, and that's why he hasn't been able to go after the top 4, and now this might be another Larson-Hamlin battle about to start.
Yeah, indeed. So more abuse for the tires, I'm sure, as Hamlin gets right to the bumper of Larson. Now he goes up to the high side of the racetrack, and you got Alex Bowman lurking right behind watching this.
Yeah, Bowman needs a good run. We've talked about him the last couple of weeks. Under the microscope, you'd have to say Alex is, and he's running strong today.
Indeed he is in that purple and white ally number 48, E7 for Alex Bowman. He runs steady as she goes on the bottom of the racetrack.
Former winner here, as we mentioned, from just a couple of years back. Likes this kind of a racetrack. Of course, the 48's had a lot of terrific days here at Dover, as we mentioned earlier. Just behind him is Kyle Busch in 8th.
Yeah, he led 33 laps from the pole earlier this afternoon. This is as low as he's been on the day. 8th place in car number 8 in that blue and white FICO Ford. Or Chevy.
Yes. That's the one he hasn't hit yet, I don't think, Busch. He hasn't run a Ford yet.
Yeah,
he could
you're right.
Complete the cycle with a Ford, though.
Yeah, yes, he can, Vin. I just want to call you a random baseball announcer name. Oh, trouble! Someone arms in the IndyCar race. I'm sorry.
Lord,
I'm sorry. And McLaughlin's got this. He is pulling away from power, so looks like Matt's going to be happy going to bed tonight.
That would be his second straight win at Barber for the Good Ranchers car, which he does get. So McLaughlin, the winner in Alabama. Second straight year that a Kiwi has won in Crimson Tide country.
That's correct. Or War Eagle country. You know, that those people do exist too.
Speaking of Crimson, that Crimson 47... Ricky Stenhouse Jr. still having a good run. He has fallen just outside the top 10 here. He's running 11th. In fact, how about that duo 10th and 11th? Allmendinger and Stenhouse. They've been up front since the start.
Yeah, both having a good day today. Both having good days, which is, again, good to see. And then you got that Air Force car, that nice-looking silver car for Bubba Wallace back there in 12th.
Yeah, Xfinity and the United States Air Force on the hood and quarter panels of the 23. You mentioned Wallace. He's had some good runs here in the past in multiple different series.
Yes, he has. I remember him in the K&N days. He had some good runs here, if I'm not mistaken. And, of course, definitely some good runs in the Xfinity series.
Yeah, K&N now with ARCA East and ARCA West. They ran here earlier in the weekend. You'll hear about that a little bit later in a hot lap. They ran here on Friday. This has been one of the staple tracks for whatever it's been called, whether it's Busch North or K&N East or now ARCA East. Ran here on Friday. It's been a good weekend here. That race on Friday, the Xfinity Series here on Saturday. Never understood why they stopped bringing the trucks here. This was always a good place for the truck series.
Have you seen the truck series lately?
Well, this was always a good place for the truck series.
That's true, short track, but it would eat up a lot of these guys, I feel like.
well, that's anywhere.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, I don't know. Well, let's not dump more on the truck series, shall we? Let's reset the top 10 for you, and we can let Seth do that as we work lap 45 of 130 in this middle stanza.
It's Martin Truex Jr. with a 1.3 second lead over William Byron. Tyler Reddick is third. Fourth is Ryan Blaney. Kyle Larson is fifth. Sixth is Denny Hamlin. Seventh, Alex Bowman. Eighth, Kyle Busch. Ninth, Chase Elliott. 10th, A.J. Allmendinger.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is 11th. Darrell Wallace Jr. 12th. Chris Buescher is 13th. 14th is Ty Gibbs. Austin Cindric runs in 15th. Josh Berry is 16th on the racetrack. 17th is Ross Chastain. 18th, Noah Gragson. Christopher Bell has climbed to 19th. Joey Logano has been mired around 20th all day, and that's where he is as we speak. Carson Hocevar in 21st. Daniel Hemrick 22nd. 23rd is Chase Briscoe. 24th, John Hunter Nemechek. Corey LaJoie runs 25th. Corey Heim is 26th. The last car on the lead lap is 27th place running Daniel Suarez. Martin Truex Jr. working through some lap traffic in turn 2.
Yep, indeed, as he gets by the Austin Dillon machine on the exit of the back straightaway on the approach to turn number 3. So Truex gets by him. Next on the hit parade will be Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson already a lap down, 2 laps down actually in that 84. He'll fall a third when Truex gets around him, which he should do in this set of corners. Just had a change for 6th. Alex Bowman works his way around Denny Hamlin.
Yep, so Bowman up to 6th, and I don't know if you noticed this or not, all 4 of those Hendrick cars inside the top 10. 2nd, 5th, 6th, 9th.
Yep. And a bunch of Toyotas populating the top 10 as well. Truex the leader, Reddick 3rd, and Hamlin 7th. So as the year has mostly been to this point through 10 races and this today the 11th, it has mostly been a Hendrick or Toyota dominated season, save for Atlanta when Daniel Suarez for Trackhouse went to victory lane. We knew, and we talked about this all the time a couple of years ago, year 1 of the next-gen car gave us a ton of parity. What did we get, 17 different winners, I think it was?
17, 18, it was a lot of them.
Yeah.
We had a lot last year, too, to be fair.
But as time wore on, the best teams and the best drivers would start to inch away from the mean of the field, and that is what is starting to happen through the start of this season with Hendrick and Toyota just beating the breath out of everybody. Meanwhile, we just had a change for 4th. Kyle Larson finally did get to and pass Ryan Blaney. I still think, and I feel like you probably feel the same way, Seth, still get the feeling Larson can go head-to-head with Truex here if he gets the track position. He was just hurt on this run by that early laps battle with Hamlin.
Correct, you are. Absolutely. But yeah, I think he's got the second best car on the property. The problem is the guy who has the best on the property is leading. Let me see here. By the way, you made a mistake a minute ago. That's Hendrick and Toyota.
Yeah, yes.
Toyota.
Yeah, you basically, you combine the Gibbs and 2311 efforts just as the Toyota brigade, because they do basically run the same stuff for the most part. Let's check in on Corey Heim, making his Cup Series
lead
debut.
Lap out of trouble, having a good day.
Yeah, look at him. Good for him. Corey Heim from Georgia, running that famous STP livery on the 43. Of course, someone brought this up. Could he do what Matt Kenseth did when he made his debut at Dover? Well,
oh, God.
let's pump the brakes on that.
Well, for starters, don't put pressure on him. Just finish on the lead lap, stay out of trouble. That should be his only goal for the day.
We'll see if he does finish on the lead lap, because that is stage points implications if he does. If you don't play the stage points game on Twitter competition, please do on USRN at USRN Radio on Twitter or X or whatever in the wide world of sports we're calling that mess now. I'm working his way around Michael McDowell in turns 1 and 2, and he goes way up to make that pass on McDowell. Of course, Richard Petty had a ton of success here at Dover in that STP 43. Now there's the place from Kyle. Where did Richard Petty not have success? But of course, those long
Chicagoland.
No, thank you. Those long 500-mile races at Dover, boy, Richard Petty, he was the best at them.
He told me it's his goal just to run every lap, like you said, Kevin. Just learn as much as he can. They also told him that you are our driver. As long as Eric Jones is out, you are the guy. So there's a chance he'll he'll be back in next week as well. But look at him making moves and learning every lap.
That was Jamie Little on Corey Heim. 7 times Richard Petty went to victory lane at Dover. That felt low to me. I figured he'd be at 9 or 10. There was one race here in 74. I was there, don't you know. Petty, he led 491 of 500 laps. I mean,
trying to call that race.
Could you imagine? Kyle Larson, he's on the move. Look at him go. He's going for Reddick.
Yeah, the whole what I was going to say a minute ago, but is Larson does blow by Reddick, so he moves up to P3. So, now that he's done that, I can say what I was going to say. That, I don't know why I say anything to you. I'm talking to the guy who called all those laps Truex led when he won the 600 in 2016.
Ah, boy, that was not fun.
No, it wasn't.
Boy, Monaco had more action than the 600 that day, and that's saying something. Holy cow.
Truex just cruising along here.
Now, this has been a place in the past where a guy and a team, they'll just hit the setup and they'll smother the rest of the field. Jeff Gordon did that a few times.
2001 rings a bell.
Yeah, 2001, he led 381 of 400. In 95, he led 400 of 500. And then in 98, not to bring up bad memories, in 98, he led 375 of 400, but finished third. Ran out of gas late, and Dale Jarrett got the win. Luckiest win Jarrett's ever backed into.
Yeah, poor Jeff Gordon. He only won 13 times that year.
Could have been 14, beat the modern-day record. Here come drivers to pit road. William Byron and Kyle Larson, teammates that were running together on the track, come to pit road together. Christopher Bell just leaving his box. And you got Larson. Chastain is in on this lap.
That game should have won 15 had Rusty not dumped him at Richmond.
Oh, that's exactly right. And he should have won the 2 exhibitions that year.
God. Yeah, as good a year as he had, it's baffling to me how the races that did not matter, how he lost both of them.
Oh, William Byron, they dropped the jack on the William Byron car. They dropped the jack with the left front tire still off of it. They've had to jack it back up. They latched the left front on. He's away. He's lost a load of time. So Byron is away, but he just lost a ton of time.
It'll cost you big on a green flag stop. Cannot afford to make mistakes.
I tell you, I'd hate for a pit reporter to say that. Martin Truex Jr. from the lead is in. Tyler Reddick is in on this. They're slow on the 19, too. He's away.
Chase Elliott said he had concerns about the rear toe after he caught the wall. It wasn't bad at the beginning of the run, but the handling went away for him.
Ryan Blaney is now in. He had assumed the lead. He's in, so too is Kyle Busch and Ty Gibbs.
Too soon and have to come back to pit road because you will lose more time and probably a lap or two on pit road trying to make that correction of the pit.
Man, oh man, you try to give him a chance. And
Why? Why do they even bring pit reporters to the track? They're not going to use them.
Now let's see here now. If timing and scoring is right on what we're getting, Kyle Larson
passed through equipment interference.
Kyle Larson has jumped Martin Truex Jr. And he has. Oh my gosh. What a lightning quick stop for the 5 guys. Not the burger people either. And Larson has taken the lead of this race. He will have the lead once Corey LaJoie and Daniel Suarez pit. Unbelievable. Mentioned that Truex was a bit slow. I didn't think he lost that much time, but apparently he did, and now, once the stops cycle out, Larson is going to be the leader of this race from Truex, Reddick, and then 4th will be Alex Bowman. Have to see where Byron cycles into all of this after that slow stop. I think he's going to end up being outside the top 10. Byron is, I think. So waiting for Corey LaJoie and Daniel Suarez to come to pit road. And once they do, Kyle Larson will shuffle his way to the lead of this race for the first time this afternoon. What a great sequence of pit stops for the 5 team. Meanwhile, their teammate William Byron and the 24 guys, boy, did they have a rough stop. Again, dropped the jack on the car before they had put the new left front tire on. And we'll have to see where Byron shakes out in all of this. Suarez just pitted. LaJoie still has not. And, of course, no reason for Corey and the Spire team to hurry to pit road. They can stay out, hope to get a caution and reset things for themselves. Well, the complexion of this race just changed a little bit, Seth.
That's why you always watch the race, even if it gets quote unquote boring. Stick around; it'll change in a minute.
There's always something going on in these races.
Well, the late great Murray Walker said it best: anything can happen in auto racing, and it usually does.
That's right. Meanwhile, off of turn 4, Kyle Busch is going to slip by Chase Elliott. Heard Seth report that Chase may be thinking he messed up the toe when he hit the wall on that last restart. Still running solidly in the top 10, but Busch gets around him for what will be the 6th position once LaJoie comes to pit road. So here we go, Seth. Kyle Larson's pit crew, that pit stop was 9.9 seconds. Wow! Talk about a lightning quick stop. So Larson's stop was 9.9. Truex's was 12.2. There's the difference and why Larson has come out ahead of the 19. Meanwhile, for William Byron, disaster on pit road for the 24 team. And Seth, once Corey LaJoie pits, William Byron will go from running top 5 to 18th.
Bummer for him, for sure. Car number 24.
Now, all of those pit stops happening around the midway point of this stage. Remember, this stage 130 laps, and all the pit stops came just past, or right on, the 70-lap mark of the stage. So, if it goes green the rest of the way, those will be the only pit stops made here in this second stanza. As we have 55 to go in stage number 2. Here at Dover, the Worth 400, which Corey LaJoie currently leads. That lead will go away here shortly when he makes his scheduled stop in the Gainbridge Chevrolet. And the green flag cycle, the pit cycle, the in-lap, the pit stop, the out-lap. Kyle Larson was 4 seconds faster than Martin Truex Jr. Tyler Reddick was 3 seconds faster than Truex, and William Byron was about 15 seconds slower than all of those guys with that slow stop.
Man, pit crew guys matter, folks.
I know there's still some diehard NASCAR people that don't like getting the terms in-lap and out-lap into the NASCAR vernacular, but it does matter, especially in sequences like that. By the way, can tell you Ryan Preece has been listed as out of the race. He's the only retiree so far of this 400-miler at Dover. 36 of the 37 cars that started are on the racetrack.
Sorry. No. Hold up, I'll be right back. Never mind. We've had an issue here.
Well, so you got 51 to go here in the stage, waiting for LaJoie to hit pit road, which he will do shortly, of course. Again, he is hoping against hope for a caution, and that he can come in under caution and everyone else might follow him down pit road under that yellow. He's getting passed, though, left, right, and sideways by everybody that's on fresher tires. Christopher Bell, just blew by him like he was tied to a stump. Josh Berry just did the same thing. Berry, once LaJoie makes his pit stop, Berry's going to be 15th. You know, we were talking Berry up at Bristol. Here's Larry.
Now, because we've had nobody run this far, even close to it on a set of tires all weekend long.
We talked Berry up before Bristol. He loves the short track run. And this is basically Bristol just stretched out by half a mile. And Barry having a solid run today. Meanwhile, Kyle Larson and Martin Truex Jr. for what will be the battle of the lead, coming close together here. Truex has chipped away at the deficit, and he's gotten it down to about 5 car lengths. Tyler Reddick's not too far back of those two. Then you've got Alex Bowman, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, and Ryan Blaney. Blaney dropped some spots in that pit cycle. He'll be running 8th when LaJoie pits. And you heard Larry mention there, Seth, no one's gone this far all weekend on a set of tires, so Corey is playing a dangerous game here as he has crossed the halfway point of this race. We have run 203 of the 400 laps. Larson, Truex, and Reddick, and Alex Bowman for that matter, pretty much right together. Only a couple of car lengths separate each of the top 4 here. Bowman made a big gain in that pit stop cycle, as we talked about. And still Corey LaJoie going around this racetrack on very old shoes. Joey Logano is going to be the next one that gets by Corey here as Corey goes high in 3 and 4. Logano gets through. Noah Gragson will be the next. Logano running 19th, unlapping himself. Gragson, who was top 5, top 10 material earlier, has slipped to 20th. He gets by the leader, LaJoie.
Back, yeah. Corey LaJoie, God bless him, everybody. He's dropping like a rock.
If he could just get a caution, is what they're saying at the 7 box. If we could just get a yellow, throw a water bottle out there, for heaven's sakes. Throw something. Meanwhile, they are starting to queue up, as mentioned, between Larson, Truex, Reddick, and Bowman. Those 4 close together here. And that will be your 4-way fight for the lead once LaJoie pits. Let's see, what is it separating those 4 drivers? About a second and a half. So not much at all separating what will be the top 4. Giving attaboy, though, to Corey and the folks at Spire. They've left him out a long time here, and he's still kicking as he gets around Austin Dillon on the exit of turn 4. Remember, Dillon had that unscheduled stop earlier, so he's on tires similar in life to Corey. Oh, man, and LaJoie walks up the track in 1 and 2. He's probably in there begging for fresh tires. His lead's just about down to 7 seconds, so Larson has almost lapped
down to 7 seconds.
LaJoie as Dillon comes to pit road. And we ride on board with him as he comes to pit road because we have that wonderful Brez Tree sponsorship. And Reddick is closed right in on Truex here, Seth, so this is a legitimate fight between the top 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is. Truex
Yes, yeah,
goes up the
point.
banking in 3 and 4. Tries to close right in on Kyle Larson as he steps away from Reddick. And I tell you what, closing in on Bowman now is Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch. So you've got Hamlin and Busch that's tucked in here. This is a 6-way fight.
Indeed it is. We still have quite a bit of laps to go. I tell you, I cannot believe LaJoie's tires haven't died on him. I mean, that's 87 laps is a long time around this joint.
Yeah, and the fuel window is listed as 95 to 100, so he's just about run a fuel cycle. He's done a good job, and again, he's probably going to be in at about 5 or 8 laps if they could just get a caution, because everybody else has been on their tires for about 25 or 30 laps now, so they would have to come to pit road. So if they could just get a caution, the fortunes would change drastically before the 7. But he's about to be eaten up by Larson and the leaders.
Yeah, it's now down to a less than 4-second advantage
They come across the line right here, and LaJoie just milking these tires as long as he can past the midway point of this race. Coming out of turn 4, meanwhile, Ty Gibbs, Darrell Wallace Jr. embroiled in a battle here. This would be for 10th once LaJoie pits. Meanwhile, Bowman, Seth.
Yeah, Bowman trying to get the 4th spot from Tyler Reddick. He's got the drive on the outside off the corner.
Wow. Alex Bowman came to play, folks. He knows how to get around this place, and he just moved up to what will be 3rd.
So, yeah, that's right. We'll be 3rd. And Corey LaJoie still leading in. Well, he's way up the racetrack. Yeah, Larson's about to get him at any minute now.
Yeah, it's only going to be
35 laps to go in this penultimate stage.
Only going to be a couple of laps before Larson and folks get by LaJoie. Meanwhile, Reddick lost that spot to Bowman, might be losing another to Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, indeed, he might. It's a great run off Reddick.
Oh.
He swallowed him up off of 2. What a run that Denny Hamlin got.
And he'll get to the inside of Tyler Reddick, see if he can complete this pass for what will be 4th on the racetrack, 4th in queue on strategy. LaJoie stays out another lap. Larson now within a 1.5 seconds of him.
Yeah, John Hunter Nemechek just passed Corey LaJoie, and LaJoie, he was going to go down to the bottom. Maybe he'll pit this time. We shall see. But Kyle Larson will be the leader of the race with Martin Truex Jr. When LaJoie pits it? Look at that, Matthew. Cars 5 and 19 at the front.
And Hamlin did complete that pass on Reddick, so Reddick has fallen a couple of spots the last few laps, and he's going to lose another one. Kyle Busch just grabbed the spot away from him. Took a fistful of collar and got the spot away from Reddick in turn 1.
Up to 6th he goes.
Wow!
Ty Gibbs sideways.
Ho-ho!
Battling with Darrell Wallace Jr. and makes a great save.
Wow! Meanwhile, Larson has caught LaJoie, and in turn 1, he'll pull to his inside and peel away. No fight given from LaJoie. Of course, that's not his race.
That's correct. So Larson now to the lead. There'll be 31 to go on the stage when he comes back to the start-finish line here at Dover.
So Larson now, who was truly the leader, now is the leader, as he's gotten by LaJoie, and everybody else will here shortly. And I tell you, Martin Truex, actually, he lost some time trying to get around LaJoie. It's brought Alex Bowman to him. It's also brought Denny Hamlin in there. Coming out of 4, Truex to the inside of LaJoie. He'll swoop up out of the corner, clears LaJoie. Now Bowman will have to, and now they take the only camera that we could see that battle and turn it the opposite direction.
That's great strategy.
There we go. Bowman has now cleared LaJoie. Now Hamlin is trying to.
We'll see if that happens. Meanwhile, Reddick and Elliott continue their battle for the World Championship at 7th place.
Yeah, and Reddick is really falling back. Oh, here comes Elliott. Got a
I'm
massive
trying to find
run.
if there's something wrong with his car, but
Yeah, Elliott, a massive run out of 4, and he's going to pass Reddick in 1, and he's going to pass LaJoie.
sorry. Yeah, I'm trying to find something. I was trying to find something real quick on the Reddick automobile. Cannot. So, all right. Maybe it's just a standard handling issue.
Must be.
We'll try to get
Meanwhile, here's Alex Bowman for 2nd off turn 2, and he's going to get it from Truex.
Whoa, Bowman. Where did he come from? Alex Bowman up to 2nd. And he wants to set his sights on the leader, Kyle Larson.
I think Alex Bowman, we talked about how this track and these cars change as the race goes on at Dover. Alex Bowman's car has come to him. He is after Larson 3 car lengths back.
Indeed it is. Indeed he is. So it is Larson by a few car lengths over Bowman going into turn number 3. Bowman now trying to stalk Larson. He goes a groove higher than the 5 car on the exit of 4.
Comes back to the main straightaway. Larson's lead stays at 3 car lengths. Bowman dives it down into turn 1 in the tire tracks of Larson in the middle of the racetrack. Larson diamonds the corner on the exit of 2.
So it is Larson with the lead on Bowman as they go to turn number 3. Bowman going high. Larson in that middle lane. Bowman going a little bit higher on the Larson line. It seems to be working for him.
Yeah, he got a good run out of 4. He cuts it down to 2 car lengths. He cuts it down to 1 car length. Teammates battling for the lead at Dover.
Yeah, Bowman's got a good run off the exit of 2. He'll reel Larson in by a car length. Lap traffic ahead, including LaJoy, who finally pitted. Here's Larson with the lead. Bowman now goes high. Larson takes away Bowman's line, as you figured he probably would.
Yeah, he had to, because John Hunter Nemechek was down at the bottom, leaving only the top lane open for the 2 leaders. They are able to filter by LaJoy and Nemechek. Ooh, but Bowman with a bobble in the middle of the corner, and he has to check up.
Oh, Brad Keselowski's off the pace of the back straightaway. Problems again for the 6 cars. He goes down to the apron of the racetrack at turn 3, so a rough day for Brad Keselowski continues.
So Keselowski, we talked about at the Open, could we see him break his long winless drought at Dover like another driver of the 6 car did many years ago with Mark Martin? Doesn't look like that's going to happen. Bowman is trapped here, Seth, in race traffic.
He absolutely is. He does get by Nemechek, but he's got Truex and Hamlin now breathing down his neck. Larson able to stretch the lead out just a bit.
Oh, and Hamlin slices from top to bottom of the exit of 4, gets a run on Truex, and Hamlin goes after Truex for 3rd.
So, and he makes the pass stick. Now, Nemechek held him up a little bit, so that might allow Truex to get the run. Let's see what happened here to Brad Keselowski.
I think he may have had another flat tire, and he popped the wall in turn 1.
I think you're right about that.
That would be a 2nd tire that's gone down today for Brad. And that winless drought will go up to 109 races.
All Larson at the front, though, as he exits turn 2, the comfortable lead down the back straight. Meanwhile, Kyle Busch just blowing by Chase Elliott. Elliott was trying to get a run on, but Busch came right back. Battle for 5th. Elliott's not backing down on it.
Yeah, Elliott continues to fight back on the inside, but boy, Busch slings it wide off the corner, gets the run down the straightaway, holds on to the spot, closes right in on Martin Truex Jr. now.
He sure does. So now it is Busch ahead of Elliott. Truex now goes low by Nemechek. They both go by, Busch and Elliott both go by the Todd Gilliland machine. Elliott now with a good run on Busch in 4.
At the front, I mean to tell you, we've got the top 7 here, basically in a chain with a few lap cars put together in the middle of them. This is a fabulous race.
Really is. And some people will tell you a fabulous race hurts Martin Truex Jr.'s chances to win it.
That is true. He nearly broke that at Bristol earlier this year, but finished 2nd to Hamlin. They run right together now, 3rd and 4th. Now that Bowman's gotten free of that traffic, Seth, here he comes again after Larson now.
Yeah, they've got something on under the hood of that 48 car, it would appear. We look at worn tires.
I tell you what, we're getting something with the tires.
Boarding on the inside, so he did flip the wall after that happened and came in and got new tires.
Jamie Little down in Brad Kay's pit. It has not been a special day for Kay.
Oh, thank you. Clap, clap, clap. Avalanche have scored 2 quick goals to go up 3-1 on Winnipeg late in the 2nd.
Oh, for goodness sakes. Game 5 of that series on USRN Tuesday night. Colorado might be finishing it out that night. Who knows? Back at the barn in Winnipeg. They'll have to really get everyone fired up on the whiteout. Keselowski, by the way.
I don't think you're going to have any problem telling Canadian hockey fans to get fired.
No, I don't think so. Keselowski, by the way, back on the track 4 laps down and outside the top 30. We have 23 cars on the lead lap, the last of those being Daniel Hemrick. And again, give a call to young Corey Heim in his Cup debut in a substitute role, still sitting on the lead lap. Good for Corey.
Big USRN stage point implications.
That's right. Still about 160 odd laps to go, but this has been a really good day so far for Corey Heim. I can tell you that Fox has gone side by side, and then for some reason they go side by side to give the fans action during commercial, and they show only onboard shots. This is the reason people freak out about Fox. when you go side by side, who the hell wants an onboard camera?
Yeah, it sounds like Bowman and Hamlin have caught Larson.
I mean, exactly.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, the top three separated by less than a second going to turn 3. What a concept.
I mean, unbelievable.
Elliott's getting Truex, too, by the way. I'm going to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, I don't think Elliott's having much issue after that wall contact.
No, he's not.
Kept motoring on
I'll tell you something. Hendrick's nailing the setup again, bar that Byron drop jack.
Oh, yeah, you're right. And
vote for a real leader. Jeffrey Michael Gordon leadership in 2024. Lord knows it's showing off here.
And speaking of Byron, got log jammed back in the pack, and he really hasn't been able to make much ground. He dropped to 18th. He is 16th at the moment. So Byron, his good day, going to need something to get it back, because after that pit road miscue, he has only been able to pick off 2 positions. Let's pick up the leaders. Up out of turn number 4, both of them, Larson and Bowman, have started going way up the banking in each set of corners. Larson's going to take it to the middle of the track in turn 1. Bowman works the bottom and gets to the bumper cover of Larson.
Indeed he does. So it is Larson ahead of Bowman going into turn number 3. It is Larson. And now Bowman will try to reel him in, but it is still Larson with the lead.
Behind these guys, Denny Hamlin only about 5 lengths in back of this battle. 9 to go in stage 2.
Yeah, so it is Larson with about a 3-car length lead on Bowman. As Kyle Larson continues to show Bowman there reeling him in as we get toward the end of the stage. This could be a fun fight between teammates. Phil Stigler, and I wish you look at that track coming apart.
Couldn't that be shown to us in like a second box?
Fair.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. Anyway, as, good God, about 4 of them coming together out of turn 4 here. Jimmy Johnson was there, Austin Cindric. Meanwhile, Larson has sprinted away from Bowman here, and Bowman has fallen into the clutches of Hamlin. Hamlin's going after second in turn 2.
Yeah, indeed he is. And these two have a bit of a mini history, too, as Hamlin gets right to that quarter panel. He'll go to the inside of Bowman. Bowman drifts up the track. Hamlin, though, diving inside. Denny Hamlin is taking it. Bowman with a great run.
Yeah, Hamlin kept it, or Bowman rather, kept it wound up top side. Bowman holds on. At some point, there will come a day where we don't have to tell you who Hamlin has a history with. It'll just be the whole field.
Yeah. That's a fair point. It probably is some motorhome lot stuff we don't know about, to be fair. He probably does have a history of the entire field.
He might do it. Well, these top 3 have yanked away.
No, he's got through the whole field.
No, thank you.
There's not a friend left.
Now, Larson 5 to go in the stage. He's got about half a dozen cars in race traffic just ahead.
So, indeed, yep. So here is Larson. Trying to go inside of Bowman. I know he's clear of Bowman. Trying to work past the lap trap as we get towards the end of the stage here.
4 to go in the stage. Larson dives down into turn 1. We'll see if he has to pass this traffic before the end of the stage or not. I think he's going to have to.
Yeah, he's going to have to for sure. And there he goes. Diving down to the inside with Jimmy Johnson ahead of him, as well as Corey Heim and Daniel Hemrick.
Yeah, those 3 in a cluster. Larson crosses the line. 3 to go in the stage. He'll go to turn 1 to the right elbow of Jimmy Johnson. Hemrick and Heim very nearly had it coming together right in front of Larson. Remember how Larson's race ended here last year? A crash with a lapped car.
Yeah, very controversial one at that. Alex Bowman running in the second position. He and Denny. Is that Denny Hamlin we're on board with? Must be.
Yeah, Hamlin's a little. That was Johnson on board with.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I can't. Enough of the onboards. If you're going to do the onboard, at least do more hood so I can know who it is.
Well, please. Larson gets by both Hemrick and Heim in a one-way move.
So Larson getting by both of them. Then Bowman and Hamlin continuing their battle for second. Bowman up against the wall. Hamlin just about a scotch lower on the track.
Meanwhile, to the line comes Larson to start the last lap of the stage. Hamlin can't play much offense on Bowman because he's having to play defense on Truex.
Yeah, he is having to play a lot of defense. All the cars spread out here. Looks as though as if Kyle Larson is going to get the stage win. Bowman second, Hamlin third, Truex fourth.
No one has won more stages so far this season than Kyle Larson. Now he comes to the green and white checkered flag and adds a 6th stage win of the season to his name. Larson takes the second stanza at Dover. Bowman is second. He's followed to the line by Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr., Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, Tyler Reddick, Ryan Blaney, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and Darrell Wallace Jr. Those are the points-paying positions at the end of Stage 2. Here at Dover, we have 150 laps to go in the Worth 400 on USRN and JB Motorsports. Glad to have you along for the ride. It's a busy racing weekend, and we have had a lot of racing that we've enjoyed across the weekend, including action here at Dover. IndyCar action in Alabama just wrapped up. A lot going on. Seth will tell you more about that with this hot lap, as we do every week after Stage 2 comes to a close. So, Seth, take it away.
All right, we start our hot lap with the aforementioned Alabama Indy Grand Prix, which just ended, like I said, about 30 minutes or so ago, and it was Scott McLaughlin winning again in the IndyCar Series. The big story there, though, Linus Lundqvist, his first career podium, finishing in that third position. A great run for him today, but it was McLaughlin with the lead. Colton Herta is your series point leader.
What?
Heading to Indianapolis month.
Wow.
They'll go on the road. What now?
That's impressive. I did not realize he was in position to be the point leader coming into the day.
But their Twitter account 45 minutes ago said, crashes, cautions, a collapsed mannequin. This race has had everything.
That's, the mannequin gets me. Oh, my Lord. That mannequin is never going to... Well, how about Colton Herta, championship leader, going to Indy? And he's, of course, won on that road course there, which is next up for IndyCar.
He leads by 1 point over... He leads by 1 point over Will Power, 3 over Alex Palou, 7 over Scott Dixon, and 13 over Felix Rosenqvist. Will Power, by the way, did finish second today. Lundqvist third. Fourth was Felix Rosenqvist, and Alex Palou finished in the 5th position.
So just for clarification, Power, the answer to the one of the stage point questions then, right? Who the highest finishing Penske car?
No, McLaughlin won.
Oh, that's right. Well, no. Well, yeah, yes. Well, my God. Okay, there you go. So, hope you picked Scott McLaughlin.
I don't think I did. Yesterday, thrilling action for the NASCAR Xfinity Grand National Series. It was overtime at the Bet Rivers 200 at Dover. Sheldon Creed and Austin Hill were battling for the lead, and they got a bit hot and heavy. Hill then had another incident on a late restart, which cost him. Carson Kvapil almost got there, but when a late wreck happened, the caution flew after a late race incident involving, guess who, Matthew? Justin Allgaier on the front straightaway. That allowed Ryan Truex, who only led 2 laps all day, to secure the victory under caution. Kvapil was second. Sam Mayer was third. Creed and Cole Custer finishing out the top 5. Your boy Parker Retzlaff, I feel like it's a weekly mention on this program. He finished 10th. How about Kyle Weatherman for Mario Goslin? He finished 8th. And Anthony Alfredo finished 9th and won the Dash for Cash.
Now, Carson Kvapil, bet you can't guess who he's related to.
Yeah, the son of Travis.
I love how they told us that yesterday. He's the son of Travis Kvapil. No kidding. Because, I know so many other Kvapils that he could be related to. I thought he was Marshall Kvapil's brother.
Anyway, Chandler Smith.
Kvapil's not exactly a common name Anyway.
No, it ain't. No, it's not. No, it's not. Chandler Smith leads the points by 1 over Cole Custer.
Oh.
Then it's Austin Hill, Jesse Love, and Justin Allgaier, the top 5 in the points. Heaven help me. What else did we have? We had the ARCA East, I think, run at Dover. You said?
Mm-hmm.
Pull that up right now.
We would send you to pit road, but no one uses pit reporters. Maybe. I don't know.
Adjustment for him. And the 19 of Martin Truex Jr., same thing. It was the rubber on the racetrack, made his car go tight. They're not going to make any changes, though, for this run.
How about this?
Photo finish at the end of pit road, and I think Hamlin, by an eyelash, beat Larson and Bowman out. And that was as close as it get, just about as close as Atlanta.
There you go. Connor Zilich won the ARCA race at Dover on Friday. He did not lead every single lap. He only led 42. Giovanni Ruggiero finished in 2nd, Quapple 3rd, LeVar Scott 4th, and Andres Perez 5th. Zilich did lead the last 42 laps in that particular event, so that was ARCA. That was last Saturday. So let's see what else we got here. I believe that might be everything. So yeah, that pretty much covers everything on this week's edition of the NASCAR Hot Lap, or USRN Hot Lap.
I'm told that Aiden Moffat won at Donington Park in British touring cars.
Oh, there you go.
I have to admit, I have no idea how things happen in British touring cars. Apparently, they had 3 races this weekend.
They usually have 2 or 3 races a weekend.
Yeah, well, Aiden Moffat apparently won the 3rd. Josh Birch, our own Josh Birch, was
Boots
right
on
there.
the ground.
Yeah, look at him go.
Busiest
guy in racing.
Yeah, you're not lying about that. But let's see here. It's about races. So anyway, McLaughlin wins the Indy car, and there was a snap comment I was gonna make. Oh yeah, I thought about.
Oh yeah, you can't let one of those pass.
I'll tell you that after I get finished promoting. Next week, NASCAR kicks off the month of May at the Kansas Speedway in Kansas City. Then it's off to, I think is it Darlington after Kansas?
Yes.
Yep, Darlington Raceway in the PD region of South Carolina. Then off to North Wilkesboro for All-Star Weekend, and then the World 600 at Charlotte. If you'd like to go to any one of those events and still have a fun racing weekend, go online to the NASCAR.com or call up the track's ticket office. They'll be more than happy to help get you set up for a great weekend of racing, and bring the kids and military members, because they get into Xfinity and truck races at half price, for free, and get into cup races at a discounted rate. So you'll get ready for a weekend you'll never forget. Go to a race there. You'll enjoy it, I promise you. So that was another USRN Hot Lap.
And if you do bring your kids, please control them. I'm so tired of going to places and precious little cherubs running everywhere.
Thought about you yesterday. I was at the spring fling. I almost sent a picture to you. 2 different things. One, right across the street from where I was standing, the Japanese restaurant Kanishiwa.
Oh boy.
I swear to you, that was actually the name of the restaurant. I almost said, I think we found Dr. Punch's place of business. Konnichiwa.
God, okay, enough.
Then,
enough. We're on JBM.
And then, I know we are, but, and then I almost sent you one up at the Freight Yard. That's a popular eating place, outdoor place where people gather in Spartanburg. Below it, I forgot about this, they have a Spartanburg based miniature golf course. I said, can we get the Ouija board for Billy Packer with a putt-putt here?
No, we're good. Seth made mention that Sunday, May 26th, we are bringing back the marathon, folks. USRN2 Sunday morning, the Monaco Grand Prix. Josh and company will take care of Monaco for us on USRN2. Then USRN will have the Indianapolis 500 and the Coca-Cola 600. The way the 600's been the last couple of years, stay tuned for that too, late night on that Sunday.
Translation: go to bed early Saturday night and sleep in a lot until about 10 Sunday because you're going to need the energy.
That's right.
And I'm talking to myself when I say that. I know you don't need no energy. Well, you might need if the 600 gets to an interesting situation, exciting. But you don't need any energy for 500.
All right, coming to the restart to get the final stage started. Hamlin and Larson, remember that great battle they had on the last restart. They are on the front row here after Hamlin won the race off pit road. He's the control car. He's on the outside of row number 1. Sellout crowd onto their feet. Green flag in the air, and Hamlin, boy, well, he jumped a restart late at Richmond a few weeks ago, and he just got a great restart there. He sails past everyone with the whole shot.
Gotta like Larson had trouble getting going too, to be fair though. It's Hamlin off to a jackrabbit start as they go down the back straightaway on this restart. He's up to about a 4-car length lead on Larson. Bowman to third, Busch fourth, Truex fifth.
Truex got bogged down in the middle of the corner. He is feeling the heat from behind from Chase Elliott and Ryan Blaney, who are side by side. Blaney's going to clear Elliott and go after Truex. Meanwhile, Bowman is going after Larson for second.
Meanwhile, Ty Gibbs goes to the outside of Tyler Reddick for the 8th. Ty and Tyler, and Gibbs will get past Reddick for P8. Hamlin still leads.
Hamlin followed by Larson and Bowman. Those two Hendrick cars are fighting tooth and nail here for the second position. And Kyle Busch, this is the furthest up we've seen him since the initial run of the race, in 4th.
Indeed, so he is back into the mix. And how about Darrell Wallace Jr. running well, and Ricky Stenhouse both battling at the back end of the top 10 for positions there. But at the front, still Denny Hamlin.
William Byron in the middle of the pack went way down almost to the apron on the exit of turn 2. He's still trying to make up ground after that slow stop in the middle of stage 2. He's mired back in 16th.
Indeed he is. Yeah, Byron absolutely in an absolute pickle, an absolute hornet's nest back there. Meanwhile, Chris Buescher trying to get to the inside of Byron. Meanwhile, Penske teammates battling back in the 20s. That's Logano and Cindric.
Just has not been a good day for these two Penske cars. Logano stays ahead of Cindric. Meanwhile, Byron, as Seth mentioned, might be about to lose another spot.
Yeah, Buescher's going to get by, and we'll see if Byron's right. No, Byron got held up. Chase Briscoe might get both of them. He'll get Byron. He won't quite get Buescher. Here's Noah Gragson to the outside. Boy, it's almost like when you get into dirty air, it changes your car.
Yeah, Byron just has not been able to make it anywhere close to the front after that slow stop.
So it is second, third, and fourth are relatively close together with Larson, Bowman, and Busch. But Denny Hamlin, his lead is nearly 2 full seconds.
Remember, we've been making comparisons to Bristol all day long. Hamlin really didn't show his stuff until the last quarter of that race at Bristol. Same can be said today. This is the first time he's led all day, and he's pulling away.
Yeah, good shout there, Matthew. As always, you're on top of everything. Ty Gibbs, we're in the 8th position in that Monster Energy Toyota. Solid day for the rookie. Or not rookie, the second-year guy. Sorry, rookie last year. He still hasn't won yet. That's where.
And I'll tell you what, too, he's just been methodically making his way to the front. This is, I think, the first time he's been in the top 10 all day. He's just been slowly but surely making his way to the front. And I guess on the opposite end of that spectrum, slowly but surely dropping positions, is Tyler Reddick. Remember, there was a point in this race, Reddick was 3rd or 2nd the entire race. Now he's dropped to 9th, and Darrell Wallace is trying to get by him.
DDS with all a 23-11 battle for 9th could be in the offing here. Hamlin in control, and then there's Truex back there in that 5th position in that Bath Pro Shops 19. Now we go to the onboard of 23 cars in the lead lap. Corey Heim is the first car, 1 lap down in 24th, and still, if I'm not mistaken, just the 1 car out of the event. That is Ryan Preece.
Yep, that is correct. As Denny Hamlin shows the way by 2.5 seconds. Well, you know, the last 3 weeks has not been kind to Joe Gibbs Racing, trying to get back on that horse after getting some wins earlier in the year, with Hamlin winning a couple of times at Bristol and Richmond. You had, of course, the win at Phoenix by Christopher Bell. But Seth, you know, no Gibbs car has finished in the top 10 in each of the last 3 races. That has not happened to the Joe Gibbs Racing organization since 2003, when they only had 2 cars out there, Tony Stewart and Bobby Labonte. None of those 4 Gibbs cars has finished top 10 in the last 3 weeks.
That would be that's a panic button crisis mode for that team.
Yeah.
But Denny Hamlin trying to rectify that issue today. There will be 130 laps to go when he comes back to the start-finish line.
All day, think about it. He wants his driver thinking about what the car is doing, so as they get later into the race, they know exactly what to change or not to change. Always thinking forward on this 11 car.
Absolutely.
That was Regan Smith with an update from the 11 team. I mean, we talk about how he's not really shown a lot of leading muscle today. He's been top 5, top 7 all day long. But not only is this the first time that he's leading, Seth, I mean, he is gone. 3 seconds he's pulled away from the rest of this chase group.
Yeah. He has pulled away and in a big-time way as well. Now it's like north of 3 seconds. He was hiding something. He was playing mind games, it looked like, in the first two stages.
Here he is across the line, Denny Hamlin. Mavis Tire, teal and white look with gold numbers on the side. Hamlin leading by north of 3 seconds on Kyle Larson, who's second. Alex Bowman is third. Fourth is Kyle Busch. Fifth is Martin Truex Jr. And then Ryan Blaney and Chase Elliott are 6th and 7th. Those have been the 7 best cars here all day, along with William Byron, who got caught out on that slow stop. But it feels like those 7 have been the class of the field all day, Seth, but they haven't stayed in those positions. They've all switched positions throughout the day. At one point, we thought Truex was going to lap the field. Now he's bottled back in 5th, and he's 5 seconds back.
Yeah, I tell you, this is an old-school race in that instance, too. The complexion changes. You know, the complexion of a race can change at any given moment.
And it still could. There's 125 laps to go, so still a lot of things can change the complexion of this race. We do have at least one more set of pit stops to make. We'll see if they'll be under green or if it'll be under yellow. We haven't seen much yellow today, but a lot can still happen over the next 125 miles. Denny Hamlin, he only has 1 career win here at Dover, Seth.
That is hard to believe.
It is. It came in August of 2020 on one of those doubleheader weekends that we did in 20, where we ran on Saturday and Sunday, and the Dryden 312s? Something like that.
If it was the Saturday race he won, I know what you and I were doing on that Saturday.
I'm glad you do.
You were calling a basketball tournament at the Upward Center in Spartanburg, and I just came and hung out with you for the rest of the day.
Oh, well, there you go. So that's when Hamlin won his only race.
Yeah, Upward, a Christian-based organization. That's where you shot me a finger. That's a certain finger that people shoot when they get mad because I've made a Billy Packer comment.
What about the Fox guys ones to watch?
Because he's made his way back up through to the front of the field, led a bunch of laps today, and I think by the end of this race, they're going to close it out.
I'm looking at pole sitter Kyle Busch. He's won here 3 times. As we said earlier, 9 times he's won a pole and won the race on the same day. And who needs to win more than Kyle Busch?
Agree.
All right.
Well, we have some development on the racetrack. I can tell you that.
Go ahead. You can out me on this. Yes, I picked Martin Truex.
Look at this,
because I'm
guys.
a family guy, and Ryan won yesterday. Martin's trying to win for 2 in a row. But then the truck showed us this.
Not good. On the last restart, you could see Alex Bowman. He gets into Bowman pretty hard on the restart, actually really hard. Boom, right there. And it's messed it. There's a gap in between the splitter and the body front fascia on this car, Kevin.
Yeah, and usually when the nose and the splitter become separated like that, it's lights out because the car is going to get a lot tighter than what it was before. So I would say that's probably going to be a bad deal for Martin Truex in winning this race.
Well, that's spot on there by the Fox guys because that was not seen by us on the restart. Truex getting into the back of Bowman, and we were just talking about Truex being 5 seconds off the lead. Well, now he's 6 seconds off of it, and I guess there's our answer. And, of course, Kevin Harvick, who drove these next-gen cars each of the last 2 years. He knows best. Says that car is only going to get worse and worse as it goes on. Larry.
The pit crew, the team that makes the right call, executes maybe what might be that green flag pit stop that will happen somewhere around lap 320 to 330. No mistakes, and maybe be the first one in there and get the jump with those fresh Goodyear tires.
Well, it's been where most of the passes have been made today.
Well, remember Larson during the last green flag pit stop cycle we had in stage 2, he went from 4th to 1st. Jumped 3 guys, including Truex, who was way out there. So if you can be the first to pit, there's always that question and that the vernacular from the crew chiefs. Be the first to pit last. Maybe after the cycle, you are first on the track and can get the win. But you have to think, Seth, it's going to take something mighty to get through Denny Hamlin's 3-second advantage.
Yeah, indeed.
Now, Denny Hamlin with a win today would pick up his 54th career win, and he would hit another big mark on the all-time wins list. He would tie Hall of Famer Lee Petty for 12th most all-time. He would draw within 1 of Rusty Wallace and within 6 of Fox Sports' Kevin Harvick. And, of course, it was Hamlin's team that got him off of pit road first under the caution flag pit stops at the end of stage 2. He just, by a couple of feet, beat Kyle Larson to the pit exit line. That's what's put him out in front, and he has soared away to a 3-second lead, but still more than 100 laps to go as Hamlin rounds turn 4 here. And as he comes to the line, there is still 114 laps to go in the Worth 400 at Dover. Matthew Owens, Seth Eves here with you. And it has been a spectacular day here at Dover. The racing has been really good, just as we had at Bristol and the other concrete racetrack we ran at earlier in the year. We have seen tire wear become a story, an issue for these drivers to work through. Not as drastic as it was at Bristol, but it's definitely been a part of the race today. We've had a lot of comers and goers like we had at Bristol. We've had a really good race. Number of lead changes, a number of different leaders. In fact, only 7 lead changes, but it's been within 7 different drivers. And it has been a really strong race at Dover. And I want to look, Seth, at a guy that I don't know if a lot of people were talking about, but maybe we should learn to talk about him when we come to Dover. Alex Bowman has shined brightly today.
Yeah, he really has a great showing. Currently in that 3rd position, he has developed quite the knack for the racetrack at Dover, and right now holding down a podium place as we start to get into the business end of this race this afternoon. Hamlin, Larson, Bowman, Busch, Truex, the top 5, and Blaney, Elliott, Gibbs, Reddick, and Wallace.
Yeah, Bowman in his last 6 Dover starts has 5 top 5s. Now, he didn't run this race last year due to the injury, but that's a pretty darn good record when you can go 5 top 5s in a 6-race span at a place, including a win here in 21. Last time he did run here, he was 5th in May of 2022. Bowman knows how to get it done at Dover, just as Hendrick Motorsports does. Hendrick Motorsports has had such great success around this track with Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon. Picked up so many wins. Again, a full-screen crew chief graphic. What is the point?
Chris Gayhart from Lafayette, Indiana, where dreams go to die.
Okay, Seth, go ahead. We're on JBM. There's people that have no idea what you're talking about. Go ahead and explain.
I keep forgetting about the JBM part of it.
Hamlin's got a 3-second lead, so we're free to go down this road for about 5 laps if you want to. Go ahead.
Lafayette, or West Lafayette, Indiana, is home to Purdue University, which has become the bane of my existence. No disrespect to the band who plays before the Indy 500 and all the great engineering racing minds that have come out of there like Ryan Newman and Matt Borland. But Purdue University, particularly its basketball and football programs, have become the bane of my existence. In another life, I was an Indiana Hoosier fan. They don't like Purdue. They don't like Kentucky.
Well, and of course, you mentioned all the engineers that came from there. Chris Gabehart being one of them. He did go to Purdue. That's where he met his wife, Jennifer.
Austin Dillon off the pace.
He's been pitting first before anyone today. I think he's doing it again. And again, just because we have a Brez Tree sponsorship deal with him, that's why we're on Austin Dillon, of course.
So you saying Chris Gabehart went to Purdue, right?
Did,
you said he's Denny Hamlin's crew chief?
He is.
Oh, forget about Hamlin ever winning a championship with him in charge.
Here we go. I teed it up for you.
You believe it? Yes, I do that he didn't win it again.
I teed it up for you. I tossed the wiffle ball high arcing and in the air so it would come down and you could swing it out of the park. Yes, I did.
I swung that sucker like Barry Bonds in the steroid era.
And he did that hard.
Yeah, he did.
Illegally, but hard.
Yeah, into McCully Cove that went.
But remember, Whitey Herzog didn't think that steroids were illegal in baseball, as he told Dan Patrick.
Got him. What?
We don't mean any ill will to Whitey, who of course just passed away, but that's forever what I'll think about. Not about the Cardinals winning the World Series. I don't want to think about that. But no, when I think of Whitey Herzog, I'll think about him telling Dan Patrick, I don't want to talk about steroids. It's fine.
We really need a battle on the racetrack
and then
here.
Him just hanging up on Dan Patrick during the radio interview. Unbelievable.
Oh, my God.
Lap 300 of 400 here at Dover, and Denny Hamlin's lead has slipped just a smidge, down to 2.6 seconds on Kyle Larson. Again, pit stop still has to be made by all of these leaders at some point. We'll see if it happens under green or under yellow. Sound of Speed on USRN.
Clear. Clear by 8, back to the 54. All good. 9, 5 back, rolling the paint. 4 back, 3 back. You're good for the exit here. He'll get you on it. 3 on the bottom. Wounded, spin third. Next 2 in front, not a position. 6 is your slowest one, just don't get stuck behind 2 wide.
About 5 laps with the Sound of Speed into your eardrums here on USRN and JB Motorsports. Kyle Larson is starting to cut into Denny Hamlin's lead. Little by little, it's down to 1.8 seconds. before these very important pit stops start, just want to say our guy Matt White, our partner in crime, Matt White, who will be back with us next week at Kansas. So he had a heck of a day.
Oh, boy.
He and Vicky and Amelia and Beth had a phenomenal day by the looks of it. It looks like they went to something like a trampoline park. Took the kids to go jumping on a trampoline. Look at Matt now. Vicky posted the pictures. There's a video. Look at Matt back here. He is great job. That's a great job by Matt organizing all of this, showing them how to do it. Boy, Matt continues like this, he'll be the VAR official somewhere. He's got good organizational skills.
I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing the kids jump up and down. Is this Matt right here? Get ready. I see the video right now.
Yeah, look at him organizing everything.
He's getting it set up.
Great day for Amelia and Beth. Very good. So, Matt will bounce his way back to the U.S. See what I did there? And he'll be with us in the Heartland next week in Kansas City.
Oh God, that'll be your turn to get salty next week after me and Purdue this week.
No, I think that job's turned to Matt. They were the ones that beat the Ravens. So
that's a good point. By the way, a Limestone guy got signed with the Ravens, undrafted free agent.
Oh, look at him go.
Speaking of Limestone, they did win the women's sack lacrosse championship I was telling you about earlier. The undefeated men are in a 4-2 pickle against Lenore Ryan towards the end of the first quarter.
Well, go Limestone, go.
Yeah, you dang right, go Limestone, go.
I'm telling you, Kyle Larson
he's closing.
It's down to one.
We'll have an actual race to talk about here soon.
Down to a second and a third. It was only 15, 20 laps ago that it was over 3 seconds. Did Hamlin go off too quickly and burn the tires up? Has Larson been saving something here? Still a pit stop to be made by all of these leaders before the race is up. But yes, Larson is down. It's down to a second and a quarter.
I'll tell you, we get a battle for the win. It was like that battle they had at the start of stage 2. I'm down for that.
Oh, man. You kidding me? Hamlin working his way through a little bit of traffic. Comes across the line. He's got 3 of them right ahead of him. One is Brad Keselowski. Another is John Hunter Nemechek. The other is Daniel Hemrick.
So that might allow Larson to close into the gap even more. Michigan on Michigan crime there with Carson Hocevar passing Brad Keselowski.
Yeah, that's Rochester Hills against Portage right there in the Michigan circles.
Now, I know Keselowski's a maize and blue. Is Hocevar a maize and blue, or is he a green and whiter?
That's a good question. Now, that's a very good question. I hope for his sake he's maize and blue. They've had much more success lately.
They did win a football natty, yes.
Football championship, especially for Michiganders, I think that...
that trumps everything.
Yeah, I think so.
And then, of course, the Lions have, are coming off of an all-time great season.
Shoo, boy, and did they show up at the draft. Oh, my gosh.
They really did.
They had over 700,000 people at that place.
Yeah, I thought about you every time I showed the crowd. I was like, I bet Matthew didn't want any part of that.
Jarek Rubel did, though. Oh, God bless Jarek, our own Jarek Rubel. That's USRN zone, not JBM's.
Yeah.
Just to clarify. Oh, he was right in the middle of it for the first 2 days. Bless his heart. Said he had a great time. Back on hockey on Tuesday with Colorado and Winnipeg. Speaking of, has Colorado won?
They're up 4-1 with 13 minutes to go.
So likely they have. Vancouver and Nashville coming up later.
Looks like we might be having green flag pit stops here soon, we understand. Oh, right on cue.
Yeah, there's Truex coming in. So Truex is the first to pit last, and now, but after them, here's Hamlin and Larson. They've made another lap, and they've come in right together.
Earlier came in from the second spot. 4 tire stop here in fuel, Regan.
Denny Hamlin started this run off very good out front. His race car was neutral. As the run has been
Great
going
stop
on, though,
for the
it's been getting
5.
a little bit too free for him. They're looking for a good stop here to just keep him out front.
Great stop by Larson. He's away. Bowman is in. Left side's going on Hamlin. Let's see who's going to come out first between those two. Tyler Reddick's also in. Larson has beaten Hamlin out of pit road. The 5 team did it again.
Man.
Just as they did earlier today, they made a 9.9 second stop to jump 3 positions. The 5 team has gotten Larson ahead of Hamlin. Kyle Busch and Tyler Reddick exit pit road. Darrell Wallace Jr. has stayed out a couple of laps extra. He's the leader, but now comes in. William Byron on pit road this time. Ross Chastain exiting. Well, Kyle Larson kept chipping away at Denny Hamlin's lead. Now he's passed him on pit road, but now, Seth, they might go into a fist fight for the lead and the win here.
You know, Larson by about a car length over Denny Hamlin as Hamlin now tries to reel in Larson. Daniel Hemrick is the current leader of the race, but
no one cares. And we have a yellow. If anyone cares about that, caution is out. It's on the backstretch.
Looks like it's Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Oh, that would be a real shame if it is, and it is.
It is. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has smacked the inside wall. Driver's side was having a really good afternoon, but now has it come to an end as he has whacked the wall, and he's going to come to a stop at that little access gap there on the apron in turn 3. So a problem for Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
He's been top 10, top 12 all day. Oh, he was coming onto the racetrack off of pit road, and he got clipped by Josh Berry coming by at terrific speed. Oh, gosh, that's heavy impact.
It's a shame.
Wow.
For the Hungry Jack team.
Now hold the phone. Daniel Hemrick had not yet stopped, as you mentioned. And that caution comes out with Hemrick being the leader.
Free pass Blaney.
Yes, that's another big point because, down to 8th had been lapped. So Hemrick is obviously going to pit under this caution. The guys that are trapped a lap down, they will not pit. They'll take the wave around to get back on the lead lap. Question is, what about Larson, Hamlin, Busch, Truex? Yes, they were just on pit road. But with tire wear the way it is, do they pit again under this yellow?
That will be the $100,000 question.
Pit road will be open more than likely next time around. That is such a shame for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Well, 77 laps to go, and a rare caution today has really gummed up the works.
Well, thank you. Wow. Gummed off the works. That's a new one for me.
Is it really?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard that.
Oh, wow. We're here to turn a phrase, hopefully with the best of them.
Alex Bowman's spotter just told out.
Well, real quick, Larry.
Come get 4 tires because remember, if you take the wave around, you have to start at the back. So why not come in and get adjustments and get some fresh tires, even though you've only got a lap or 2 on your tires that's on the car? Nothing to lose.
I'm coming, Larry.
I would too. Now, Daniel Hemrick pit road is open. We knew Hemrick would pit. Could they get off the onboard? Oh. Well, Daniel Hemrick
right on cue with giving a freeze field rule picture.
So Hemrick's on pit road. and Jamie.
They said, hey, man, you actually look good leading up there. And they said it's a good thing, Regan.
Well, the 8-car Kyle Busch coming down pit road. You see it right here. He had already made his stop. It sounds like they had issues, though, getting fuel in the car. It may not be full of fuel, so they were forced right here to come back down.
Alex Bowman is also in. So not everybody that was still on the lead lap came to pit road, but Busch and Bowman did. And it looks like those were the only two. So you're going to have Larson as the leader, followed by Hamlin on this restart. Now, all those other guys that got trapped a lap down, like Gibbs and Wallace and Reddick, they're going to have to take the wave around here. They'll be at the back of the restarting pack. 75 to go when they come to the line next time. I'm going to hand you off to Seth. We're not taking breaks today. We're wide open and green at Dover. And I'm going to hand you off to Seth. Seth, tell us what's coming up on the NASCAR schedule here a little bit down the road. Remember, every race of the NASCAR Cup Series schedule is on USRN this year. Hand it off to Seth to tell us what's coming up in May and June.
All right, every lap, as mentioned, of the Cup Series season. So again, today, finishing off here at Dover. Next Sunday, we're at the Kansas Speedway for the Advent Health 400. Airtime about 2:30 Eastern, green flag set for 3 o'clock. Then from there, we head to one of NASCAR's Grand Cathedral racetracks on the 12th of May, the Darlington Raceway in South Carolina for Throwback Weekend, which will culminate with the Cup Series Goodyear 400. Then Sunday, May the 19th, it's All-Star Weekend from the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Coverage begins at 5:30 with the All-Star Open. And then the All-Star race itself set for about 8 o'clock. May concludes on Sunday night, May 26th, with a 6 o'clock green flag, the Coca-Cola World 600. Into June, and June begins on June 2nd with a third straight trip to the Gateway Motorsports Park in Madison, Illinois, just outside of St. Louis for the Cup Series Enjoy Illinois 300, presented by Ticket Smarter. Then we'll go road racing again on June the 9th, as we'll head to Northern California for the Toyota Save Mart 350 at the Sonoma Raceway. Then the Cup Series makes its debut at the Iowa Speedway Sunday night, June 16th, for the Iowa Corn 350, powered by ethanol. From there, the series moves from the Heartland to the Northeast for the Cup Series running at New Hampshire on June the 23rd. Then June concludes Sunday, June 30th at 3:30 Eastern with the Ally 400 from the Nashville Superspeedway in Lebanon, Tennessee. July, and we'll go take it all the way to the break. July the 7th, we'll have the Grant Park 165 for the Chicago Street Course. And then from there, it's off to Pocono on July the 14th for the HighPoint.com 400. And then Sunday, July 21st, the Brickyard 400, which begins at around noon with NASCAR's Greatest Day, then the Brickyard Countdown, and then the Brickyard 400 itself. Then the 2-week Olympic break. So a lot of great racing in the next couple of months for the Cup Series, and you'll hear it all on USRN.
Yes, and thank you, Seth. And just to clarify on that, I should have said this earlier, need to get into the rhythm of saying this. Every Cup Series race on USRN and at JB Motorsports, of course, with our guys at JBM.
So we're not doing any more breaks the rest of the year. Boy, that'll be interesting.
Well, not the ones that we do on JBM.
Right.
When it's USRN only.
Gotcha. Choose is an absolute mess right now.
Chase Briscoe has stopped.
Oh, that's not good. He must have had a penalty of some kind.
Yeah, I'm guessing so. Now, we're going to have a jumbled up running order here.
Kyle Busch said they said he did not pit. He pitted again because his car wasn't full of fuel.
Now, that makes sense. Now, we're going to have a jumbled up running order here because there's going to be, because we had a pit stop cycle going on during the yellow, going to have some guys that's off the lead lap that are starting ahead of the wave-around cars that are on the lead lap. What you need to know, though, is that Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin are the leaders on the front row. Out of nowhere, Noah Gragson is in row 2 with Martin Truex Jr. Daniel Hemrick, because he was the leader at the caution, a lucky break for him. He's restarting 5th. Here comes the field out of turn 4. Crowd on their feet. Larson and Hamlin on this restart. Green flag in the air. Larson gets away. Hamlin's right with him. No man's advantage for the lead as they go to turn 1, and Larson and Hamlin are battling for the lead.
Yet they have pulled away from the rest of the field, oddly enough, as Hamlin now gets a slight edge of the exit at turn 2. Trouble off turn 2. Bubba Wallace gets turned. Christopher Bell nails the inside wall. William Byron gets collected in the incident as well. 3-car incident on the back straightaway. The Monster's eating 3 more of them. Darrell Wallace Jr., Christopher Bell, William Byron trying to make it to pit road. I don't know how he knows where he's going because the hood is flat up on that Liberty 24. Wallace with heavy damage. Bell limps the Yahoo Toyota back to pit road with heavy damage.
And Miles, the Monster, just struck. There's your multi-car crash at Dover. Seems to always happen here. We'll check back with Seth.
A lot of damage in all 3 of those cars, Matthew.
Let's check back with Seth now, actually, to see what happened.
I think Byron maybe gets in the back of... Somebody gets in the back of Wallace. His car fishtailed and it bounces off the wall, and then somebody hit Bell trying to check up.
I think that might have been
who that was that hit Wallace that started. He spun, and then William Byron nowhere to go. Whammo's Wallace in the driver's side.
I think this
might have been Zane Smith.
Yeah, it was. You're right.
Zane Smith, and then, Bell takes a hard hit into that inside wall.
And Byron straight into the driver's side door of Wallace's car. So you had 2-3 heavy hits right here. Byron's got nowhere to go, and I mean driver's side impact on Wallace. Well, that'll be day done for those 3. By the way, we didn't get in before the restart that Ricky Stenhouse Jr. did have to retire from the race with his crash, and now 3 more will be done. Wallace and Byron's already went behind the wall. Bell has come to pit road, but they're not fixing that car. Well, there's your Dover destruction.
Yeah.
And there might be more coming. And Denny Hamlin was the leader at the time of the caution. Larson just did not get away nearly as well as Hamlin did on the previous restart. And this caution a break for all the drivers that took the wave around on the previous caution, because now they'll be able to restart in their true positions with the rest of the lead lap cars. Well, Seth, I guess this race really shows you, at least when you look at William Byron's race, shows you the importance of pit road. You cannot make a mistake on pit road, because Byron had one of the 5 best cars here, I think you and I feel. Pit road mistake put him deep in the pack. He couldn't make his way through the traffic. He was mired back 15th, 18th, 20th the rest of the day. That's where he was on that restart, and got caught up in that one. When you run with the squirrels,
bad things will seem to happen.
Again, they're trying valiantly to fix the 20 car. That's not gonna happen. I hate to tell them. What a terrible weekend for poor Christopher Bell. And he was one of the favorites coming into the weekend, and it just hasn't been... Nothing's gone right for that team. Second straight week with a wreck for Wallace. Remember, Seth, he had that long stretch of consecutive races running at the finish, Wallace. Now this will be 2 straight DNFs. Funny how the sport works.
So need to I was going to bring this up a minute ago. Need to rehash something. Alex Bowman had some interesting spotter conversation a minute ago with Kevin Hamlin. I guess he was battling, and those Byron fans have seen enough.
Well, those Fox cameras, those Fox cameras can spot driver fans, can't they?
Well, they sure can. But anyway, I guess Bowman and Larson were racing hard a little bit ago. Bowman said, sarcastically, appreciated 5-car. Kevin Hamlin, the spotter, said, he's not going to pull over for you. You got to go effing earn it. Let's go. Bowman said, Kevin, just let me drive the effing race car. Hamlin, clear by 5. Good luck. Denny Hamlin just told Chris Gabehart that the bottom is better for him.
You just would not really want to be a spotter in this sport because
No.
you draw a lot of ire from the drivers in the heat of battle, that's for sure. Gotta just let things roll off your shoulder at that job. Wow. Well, we tear up some equipment. Bell's finally clambered out of his car. There was no way that they were going to fix that car.
Dave Moody, with the way his luck is going lately, if Christopher Bell buys a lottery ticket, he'll have to pay $1.5 million. Nick DeGroot, I've never understood fans who pay to go to a race and then leave because they're driver wrecks.
Dave Moody today was at the 4-Wide Nationals.
Was he really?
He was he was taking great fun last night on Twitter. The conversation, if you want to even call it that let's see, we're on JBM here, that interesting character on TNT, Bissonette, was spewing about Jeremy Swayman and the Bruins.
Oh boy, yeah, Moody's a Bruins guy, so.
Well, you know, Bissonette, he grew up a Toronto fan, even though he never played for them. He goes on there, rah Maple Leafs. Said that Swayman was going to give up 5 goals. Toronto was going to run him out of the building.
Why would... Now, hold on a minute. You know the Maple Leafs history, Paul. Why would you set yourself up to say something that stupid?
I don't know.
But continue.
I don't know.
Continue, please.
Well, then they end up losing 3-1 in a game where they showed just no life. None. And Brad Marchand has gotten under their skin. And let me tell you, Brad Marchand is not a professional hockey player. He is a professional rat. And when Brad Marchand gets under your team's skin, you're done. You're done.
Brad Marchand, so you're saying he's a professional ester.
There you go. Once he gets under your skin, game over. And he is shredding them apart in this series. Had another goal last night. Game 5 on Tuesday night on USRN at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
In Boston, where they'll surely finish it off.
You would certainly think that. But now, with that said, they were up 3-1 last year, too.
And they were playing the Florida Panthers, who were carefree and loose.
Surely they're not dropping a 3-1 lead again.
Not against this bunch.
No. And to the point that everybody has been saying in the aftermath of this, Toronto can't run this back. Again, they can't run this back next year and do the same thing. What do you mean they can't? They've been running it back for the last 5 years with this group. Why wouldn't they do it again?
5 decades.
I mean, why wouldn't they run it back with this group, with Matthews and Marner and Nylander and Tavares? They're going to run it back, and it'll yield the same result.
I just send thoughts and prayers to my friend who pulls for the Maple Leafs, the Cowboys, NC State, and the Braves and the Thunder. He picked a good bunch, didn't he?
Boy. Oh, boy. Pierre's Rangers going for the sweep of Washington tonight.
They should probably do that, I would imagine.
Yeah, Washington just not big.
How in the world did they get it? Talk about a waste of a spot. I hate to say it.
I mean, a total meltdown by Philadelphia. You would have just so rather have seen Philadelphia in that spot than Washington.
I'd rather seen Detroit.
Yeah, or Detroit, yes. Colorado is about to win. They're up 4-1 with 4 minutes to go. You know, I did your guys on Friday night. I was stunned by the lack of energy that they brought. Finally, you get home, you've taken home ice away, and you do that? Vancouver had 12 shots on goal in that game and won 2-0.
Man.
That was the worst game in the world to call, too. There was no rhythm, whistles everywhere. It was a terrible game to try to call, actually, which you got to work really hard to try to do that to hockey.
I know.
To get a rhythm out of hockey. But they sure did. What's the other one tonight? It's LA and Edmonton, right? Yeah, should be.
Yeah. We all know how that's going to go.
Hey, the Kings got a game in Edmonton.
That's true.
Then they got blown out on home ice in Game 3. I get the feeling that Edmonton is probably... They're not able to beat anyone in 5. They have to go deep in a series.
Who? I'm sorry. Okay, lost you for a second. What did you say? Who is it built to win in 5?
Edmonton. They're always going to have 6 or 7 game series. All right, 1 to go at the line, and they just went through the chews. And what did you just tell us that Denny Hamlin said on the radio? He said the inside is better?
Yeah.
He just chose the outside. Let's see what Chris Gabehart has to say about that.
For you guys, you got him back up front again now. Can he hold it for the rest of the race?
Yeah, what race isn't tactical anymore? You tell me which one it is, I'll show up. They're all so hard to win. It's crazy. It's third race at Dover, and we were so dominant the first one, and now you just got to have everything go right. But we finally got back to the front and stretched our legs, show what our car can do, and pit crew's been... That was loud. Pit crew's been doing a good job all day. We just got to close it out.
All right, thanks, Chris.
Regan Smith with Denny Hamlin's crew chief, Boilermaker, Chris Gabehart. Getting set for the restart, which will come with 62 to go. So Hamlin does choose the outside. He's the control car here. His restart etiquette has come into question the last few weeks. Let's see what happens on this one. He's got Larson to his inside, Gregson and Truex in row 2, followed by Elliott and Hemrick. Green flag in the air, and Hamlin gets away well. He'll have his choice of lane by the time they get to turn 1. He'll cut it to the bottom in front of Larson, and Larson's got Truex to his right elbow.
Yeah, indeed he does. So it is Hamlin to the lead. Truex and Larson, boy, they nearly touched. 3 wide mid-pack with Chastain, Reddick, and Gibbs. Gibbs will back off in that one. Chastain has the edge, but now Gibbs trying to fight back. Hamlin the leader.
Larson held off Truex for second, but Hamlin gets away with the lead. Further back, Elliott, Gregson, Busch, Hemrick, and Awad for 4th.
Elliott to the inside of Gregson. Hemrick trying to get to the inside of Busch. Ryan Blaney, been also mention his name. He'll peek to the inside or try to peek to the inside of Hemrick. Alex Bowman battling him. 4th place, still hot and heavy between Elliott and Gregson.
Yeah, Gregson's got a good short run car. He showed us that earlier, so Elliott's going to have to work hard to make this pass, and Gregson's keeping him pinched down at the bottom.
Still side-by-side for P4 as Elliott goes to the inside of Gregson. 4th place, going into turn 3. Gregson still maintains the edge. Here comes Elliott, though. Drives in 3.
Kyle Busch watches this battle every step of the way. Gregson winds it up topside. Has his nose ahead of Elliott. They dive back into 1. Gregson's going to diamond the corner. Let's see if that gives the edge to Elliott. It hasn't yet.
Elliott with a slim edge, but Gregson with a good run. Only nearly touched there on the back straightaway. And Gregson is going to maintain his line. He's actually going to clear Elliott. So Gregson 4th. Meanwhile, just outside the top 10, Ty Gibbs just passed Tyler Reddick for 11th.
Reddick has just continued to fade as the race has gone on. We thought he was going to be in the picture to win this thing as the race went on. He's not. Let's go to the Infield Care Center.
DNF of the season, what happened?
Yeah, just it sucks. You know, it looked like the 23 got sideways or got hit in the left rear and came across the racetrack, and we were there, so that just sucks. Once we had the issue there on pit road, you know, we were just super tight back in traffic, couldn't pass, and that was the end of it. So just hate that for our team, and wish we could have gotten through traffic better. Just kind of ruined our day once we got back there. Thank you.
All 3 drivers involved in that crash have been checked and released from the Infield Care Center: Bell, Wallace, and Byron. Just as we seen on a couple of restarts ago, Hamlin on the short run has taken off Seth. His lead is 1.1 seconds.
Yep. Meanwhile, Ty Gibbs trying to crack the top 10. He puts pressure on Ross Chastain on the back straightaway. Here is Chastain about a car length ahead of Gibbs. They both go to the inside. Chastain has the spot.
Back down to Jamie. She's with Darrell Wallace Jr.
And now you're out. What happened?
I don't know. I can only just sit here, and you have the long ride over here on a golf cart to figure out what you want to say. And I guess turning 30, gonna be a dad, you got to be more mature. So just a bummer. Hate it for Xfinity US Air Force Toyota. Just not the result we needed. Back-to-back DNS. Man, Moody said it perfect Monday. When I was pissed off and frustrated after Talladega, he says, hey, we're going to have to grind our ass off for Dover, from practice to qualifying to the race, and it's not going to be pretty. And I don't think he meant that part. You know, the wrecking out wasn't going to be pretty, but we had to grind, and proud of the effort we put in every week. Just unfortunate, no results to show for it. But we'll just go on to Kansas, where hopefully we're not around any squirrels and go kick their ass.
All right, he wanted to be more mature. He dropped about 3 words there that wasn't great, but thank you, Bubba. We apologize for that language. Not really here on USRN, mostly if anyone on JBM doesn't like that language.
Well, I was going to say, he just about had it there. I was about to say, so translation, he is not happy with Zane Smith.
No.
And to be fair, he probably shouldn't be. No. You know, what is Zane Smith? 2 laps down?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a bad situation. Denny Hamlin by 1.5 seconds now on Kyle Larson at the front. Now, the question is, that last run, Hamlin, remember, he went up to a 3-second lead. Larson just kept chipping away at it. He had cut it down to about 1 second, and then they had to come to pit road. No more pit stops needed here if this stays green the whole way. Is there enough time for Larson to get to that crossover point where his car is the better one than Hamlin? Can he run him down? Can he pass him? Right now, Seth, with 50 laps to go, the lead is 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, it was stabilized for the last couple of laps there. So now things have kind of calmed down. Everybody's single file. It's Hamlin, Larson, Truex, Gregson, Elliott, Busch, Blaney, Hemrick, Bowman, and Chastain. Your top 10.
Well, we're going to Kansas next week, Seth. How did that Kansas race finish last year?
Oh, boy. Thank you, Mr. NBC.
I was just thinking here. Twice last year, Larson and Hamlin dueled late for a win. And twice, Kyle Larson ended up in the wall. And twice, Denny Hamlin went on to win the race. So Larson's batting 0 for 2.
Kyle Busch just got around Chase Elliott for 5th.
Yeah, sure did. So we'll see if Kyle, we were on the air, well, for both of those races.
He picked up a couple tenths last lap. Let's see what the interval is of the line this time. I picked up a little bit more.
We were on the air for both of those races, and I remember Larson in that interview after Pocono, he said, that's just how Denny is. Everybody knows it. Denny's always right. There was some spiciness to those comments post-Pocono, Seth, so I have to wonder, is any of that in the back of Kyle Larson's mind with, if we stay green the rest of the way, about 25 minutes left in this race?
I think he might be thinking more about the battle he had with him earlier today.
Yeah. Yeah, these two have battled a couple of times today, and that's been split evenly. Larson won one battle, Hamlin won the other.
Let me ask you a question. I just saw someone on Twitter say that Noah Gregson's paint scheme today is the worst paint scheme of the season. You buy that?
No, it's Jimmy Johnson's.
I agree.
Noah Gregson, by the way, in 4th position.
He's had a good run. Got to give him credit where it's due. He's kept his nose clean.
He and Daniel Hemrick both, if they could bring it home where they're running, which is 4th and 8th respectively, much-needed good finishes for that team. And do you know who we haven't talked about one time today but is running 10th?
Melon Man.
Now, we talked about him earlier in Ones to Watch. He has picked up this... He's picked up this concrete thing pretty good. Won at Nashville last year. Mentioned 2nd and 3rd in the last 2 races at Dover. Solid finish last year at Bristol. He knows how to get around these concrete canyons, but he really hasn't thrown his name in the hat all day, but here we are with under 50 to go, and he's running 10th. So give a call to Ross Chastain. Hasn't given up on the day. What about we wrap up a few other guys' days here, Seth? Josh Berry, 13th. He's been top 20 all day. This is the highest up we've seen him. AJ Allmendinger is 14th. This has been a great weekend for AJ and the Colleague team. Just a couple guys that's getting a much-needed good run here.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, Busch closing in on Gregson for 4th. They go through turns 3 and 4.
Remember, Gregson used to drive for Kyle Busch years ago in the Truck Series. There's a relationship here of some kind. 41 to go. They fight for 4th.
That isn't, when Kyle Busch is driving, that doesn't mean anything. Oh, he got the wall off of 2. He got the wall to Kyle Busch. Keeps it going, right direction. But boy, he gave that a little kiss coming off of turn 2.
He hasn't lifted yet, I don't think. Here he comes, rumbling out of turn 4. No, he's in the slipstream of Noah Gregson as they go back to turn 1. 40 miles left.
Gregson and Busch continue this battle for 4th. Exit of turn 2. It is Gregson hanging on to it by... All right, Martin Truex Jr. Let's follow him. He's running in 3rd. He's kind of in no man's land. He's far ahead of 4th and 5th, but isn't that close to 1st and 2nd.
Well, and remember that damage he got when he ran into the back of Alex Bowman on a couple of restarts ago, but he's still held it strong in 3rd. That's been a great car all day.
Indeed it has. P3 for that 19 car. Denny Hamlin with a 1-second lead over Kyle Larson at the front of the field.
Yeah, and Larson had to get around Brad Keselowski that lap and actually lost 1/3 of a second. So Hamlin's lead goes from 1 second to 1.3 in the space of a lap.
So it's Hamlin, Larson, Truex still in those quote-unquote podium places. As Truex now goes to the inside of the Brad Keselowski lap machine. He'll blow right by him.
See if Larson's able to rebound here after losing that time trying to get around Keselowski, because he had closed it down to 1 second, but now it's back up to 1.4, closing in on 1.5.
John Hunter Nemechek, by the way, has cracked the top 20.
Yeah, he's a lap down, but he is in the 20th position. And remember, he started way out back, along with his legacy teammate Corey Heim. Heim, by the way, 26th, 2 laps down in his Cup debut. It's been just a clean day for Corey Heim, despite, as Kevin Harvick put it, being yeeted on pit road in the first set of caution flag pit stops by Tyler Reddick. He's kept it clean out on the track. Ross Chastain at 10th, trying to defend from Ty Gibbs. Oh, and Gibbs gets loose on the exit of turn 4, allows Chastain to gallop away by a couple of car lengths. Last spot in the top 10 up for grabs right here.
Yes. Chastain holding off Gibbs. It was a good run by Gibbs, but he couldn't quite make the pass stick. Here's Chastain. He keeps the spot of the body. They both go to the inside of the lap machine of, was that Gilliland?
Yeah, Todd Gilliland, who, if you weren't with us earlier, spun early, brought out the first caution, and then, oh boy, they couldn't get the car put back on the racetrack with all the flat tires, ended up losing 6 laps in that process. At the line, let's check the stopwatch. Denny Hamlin's lead on Kyle Larson is 1.3 seconds.
So the lead, 1.3 second lead for Denny Hamlin. Can he get that second victory at Dover?
Would be his 3rd win of the season, and all of them on tracks of a mile or less in length. He won at the 3/4 of a mile Richmond and the half mile at Bristol.
So Hamlin with still a comfortable lead. 32 laps to go. Larson to the bottom.
Larson trying to get there. He knows that the longer the run goes, or at least the way the race has gone today, the longer the run goes, his car is going to get better. Hamlin's going to come back to him. Let's see if that happens over these last 30 laps.
So it's Hamlin still with a comfortable lead. Larson running in second, just trying to get it, just trying to run on the bottom and hope for something here. Hope the car comes back to him in the closing stages.
Hamlin having to get around Kaz Gralla this lap. We'll see if that cost him any time getting around that lapped car. And yeah, I think it has. It did. It cost Hamlin a little bit of time there, Seth.
Yeah, it did. So maybe a chance for Larson to get back into the mix that way.
Okay, last lap, it was 1.2 seconds last lap. This time, it's 1.1. So Hamlin gave up a tenth that lap.
Hamlin's still the leader on the back straightaway. Well, I think he's on the back straightaway. He's got some lap traffic. Someone's got some lap traffic to deal with here. Are we set for a spicy finish? Who knows?
Fox is too busy showing highlights of the race, so in the second box, they put us on an onboard camera, which helps nobody with anything. Hamlin leads back to 2.
So it is Hamlin by 1.1 seconds over Kyle Larson. Keeps it comfortable down the back straightaway, heading into turn number 3. And now they go to Daniel Hemrick, who is having a solid afternoon, you must say. He got a little bit lucky with the break, and he's taking advantage of it.
Yeah, absolutely got lucky, but sometimes you have to in this business. And especially for a team that has been struggling at the start of the season. Heck yeah, they'll take any bit of luck they can get, Seth. Came into this race 29th in the championship standings.
Oh, sorry, yeah. So, like you said, he needed a good run, and he'll get the good run if he can hang on to it. That is the $100,000 question. Full second to lead Hamlin to Larson.
So Larson just keeps chipping away at it. Is there enough time? Keep chopping on that tree and chopping on it. At some point, when will it fall? Will it fall at all? Hamlin's dealing with some race traffic again. He's got Austin Dillon just ahead of him as he makes his way back to turn 1. Let's see if he loses any time getting around the 3.
Yep, Hamlin gets by Larson rather easily there, it must be said.
Gets around Dillon.
Well, I'm sorry, yeah. Why can't I freaking focus in these certain times? I don't know. But anyway, it's Denny Hamlin with lead. Larson is cut to less than a second.
Wow. 0.8 of a second. Now Larson's got to get around Dillon too, which he will this time. Does he lose any time? I don't think he did. He got by in one set of corners.
Sure did. So it's Hamlin still with about a 9-car length lead over Kyle Larson. More lap traffic coming up. Todd Gilliland next up for these guys.
Whoa, yeah, and Hamlin was running high in 3 and 4. That's right where Gilliland was. Hamlin goes underneath him in turn 1. Corey Himes up there too.
Hamlin gets by Gilliland. Now Larson has to be trapped behind Gilliland on the back straightaway. Hamlin now will go to the inside of Heim. Heim will give way on the extreme outside. Hamlin still with a comfortable lead, all 4.
We give it up to Corey Heim. That's exactly what you want to see from a rookie as he goes 3 laps down, 22 laps to go. That last time, Hamlin was quicker by 1/100th of a second.
And the lead at 0.7 of a second still. Now a lap car buffer between Hamlin and Larson. Heim will go way up the racetrack. Hamlin has another lap car to work on. That's Harrison Burton.
Larson's not close enough to get by Heim this set of corners, so he's going to have to try to get by him in 1 and 2. Not sure if he's going to be close enough here. Don't think he is. Larson's going to have to track behind Heim at least for another straightaway.
And Hamlin likewise on Harrison Burton. So Burton's going to stay in front of Hamlin until now. Hamlin will go inside. He will pass Burton. Heim will give way to Larson as well.
So Larson puts away Heim, but now he's got Burton in the Wood Brothers car between he and the leader, Denny Hamlin. 20 laps to go at Dover.
And Larson's not going to be able to get around Burton, so another gap. It's about 4 car lengths to the next car on the hit parade for Hamlin. That's the red, white, and blue jockey car of Daniel Suarez.
Who is it going to be in victory lane when it's over in Dover? Larson with an aggressive pass on Burton out of turn 4. I think he cleared himself right there. He wasn't waiting to hear clear on the radio.
It's whip cracking time. You got to get on it. No time to dilly-dally around. Larson now with no lap cars between he and Hamlin. Hamlin now closing up on the Suarez machine. Hamlin's lead about 8 car lengths on Larson.
Yeah, Hamlin did lose a little bit of time getting around Burton. As I mentioned, he made an aggressive pass on Burton. It did cost him a little bit of time. The difference is 3/4 of a second.
Hamlin now stuck in behind the Daniel Suarez automobile. Larson trying to gain ground. Hamlin's still stuck. He has to wash up high. Can't get around Suarez. Larson should close a little bit more here.
Yeah, Suarez stayed on the bottom. Hamlin went that way, took the air off the nose of Hamlin. Remember, Suarez was difficult to pass earlier for William Byron.
Good catch. Hamlin being trapped by Suarez, at least we think. What are we doing here?
Hamlin's going around the outside of Suarez in 3 and 4, and I think he's going to pass him. He does. So Hamlin makes the pass on Suarez. Now Larson's got to get Suarez. And remember, Suarez has every reason to fight here. He's the last car on the lead lap, or at least he was.
Larson using his patented line to get by Suarez and get by him with relative ease. It's now down to about 4 car lengths that separate Hamlin and Larson. Here's Larson upstairs. We told you about momentum earlier. Here we go.
Larson rolls it around the top, comes back to the line. He's half a second behind Denny Hamlin. Call it about 4 car lengths as they go back to turns 1 and 2.
Larson again trying to run on the outside, about a 4 car length lead. The Jimmy Johnson car is next up for these two. Hamlin maintains a comfortable lead. Johnson will go way up to the outside and give these guys room.
Johnson drives a Toyota now, so he certainly didn't want to impede the progress of Denny Hamlin. He should give way to Larson. He will. Larson stays 4 car lengths back. Larson walks up the track a little bit, though.
Indeed, he does. So Larson about 4/10 behind Hamlin, but he seems to be getting ever closer to that number 11. Last time, the longer the run went, the better he got. It's game on, it would appear, at Dover.
Yeah, he's getting closer and closer here as they make their way back to turn 1. It's still half a second.
Still half a second. Larson trying to get as close as he can. Another lap car coming up next for these guys. That will be Zane Smith. It is Hamlin by 4 car lengths going into turn 3 as Larson walks it way up the racetrack like he does.
Yeah, winds it up topside, tries to get the run off the top of the banking. Didn't really make a difference this time. It stays 4 car lengths.
4 car lengths still. Now, Hamlin will have Smith to worry about here. Hamlin up against the wall, but keeps it going. He'll go to the inside of Smith in turn number 3. Larson gonna try to go that middle lane that was sliced open.
Yeah, well, that's where Smith was running is where Larson had been running the last handful of laps. He had to change lanes that time. He didn't lose a bunch of time.
No, he really didn't. In fact, it's actually down to 3/10 of a second now. Larson is there. Hamlin now trying to hold him off in turn 3. Hamlin going to go up a little bit to try and take away his line, but Larson found a way to go a little bit higher.
Yeah, now that Larson has gotten to within 3 car lengths, Hamlin's going to start mirror driving, try to take the nose off the air of Larson Chevrolet. 10 laps, 10 miles left.
Larson now still running up 2. We said earlier in the track description, 3 and 4, you run that high line to get some momentum for a possible run to the checkered flag. And here we go. Kyle Larson doing it. Up high again. Hamlin's lead still 2/10.
Went really high that time in 3 and 4, Larson, and I think he lost a little bit of time there that time. He may have jumped the cushion by half a lane.
Yeah, Hamlin picked up a couple of tenths that time. However, there is another string of lap traffic ahead of Denny Hamlin. Kyle Larson and Hamlin, they're both going to be circumspect about it. First car, they both easily passed. Brad Keselowski.
Keselowski totally bails out of the throttle as the 2 leaders go by him. A class act as always, Brad K. There's a group of 5 cars now straight ahead of the 2 leaders.
Big group with Coach Joe Gibbs looking on. Denny Hamlin trying to bring one home for the coach. Kyle Larson right in his rearview mirror. They both go to the outside of another lap machine. That looks to be Todd Gilliland.
They clear Gilliland. Next car in line would be Justin Haley, then Carson Hocevar, then Corey LaJoie. 7 laps to go. Larson keeps banging on the back door,
but can't find a way through as of yet. They're going to close in on Haley. It's about 2 car lengths again. Hamlin on the inside. Larson on that upper middle lane because Haley took Larson's line.
Yeah, again, the lap cars are trying to stay to the outside. That's helping Hamlin, not so much helping Larson, but Larson's within 2 car lengths. He takes it to the high side of turn 2 to get closer.
He's within a car length, Larson. He is right there as close as he's been on this run. Hamlin and Larson, mano-a-mano here at Dover. Hamlin high, Larson higher.
Yeah, again, Hamlin going to start to mirror drive, try to take the air off the nose of Larson. He did it in 3. Larson's going to counter by going to the bottom in 1 and 2, but that's where Hamlin went.
That's exactly where Hamlin went. So it's Hamlin with the lead over Larson. Carson Hocevar and Corey LaJoie, those 2 teammates ahead of these 2 leaders. They both go to the high side of the Hocevar car.
Yeah, Hamlin really high that time through 3 and 4. Swings around Hocevar. Hamlin will get by him Larson gets by him on the entrance to 1. 4 laps to go. 4 car lengths the difference.
4 car lengths the difference. Larson trying to find one last run in the final 3.5 miles. Hamlin goes high. Larson inside. Larson closes in a little bit. The gap's still 2 car lengths.
Hamlin's going to have to squeeze around the outside of Corey LaJoie at the start-finish line to get by him. He does. Larson does as well. Less than 3 laps to go.
Larson now trying to get another run here. Hamlin's lead, though, about a car length now. Here comes Larson. He'll go to 3. Hamlin takes his line. Larson now will try to counter by going to the bottom.
Yeah, Larson diamond the corner. See what kind of run he gets out of the corner. It's down to 2 car lengths. It's down to 2 to go. John Hunter Nemechek just in front. 2 of the sport's best going for the win.
Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson. This is what these fans came and stayed for. Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson duking it out in the Delaware sunshine. Hamlin high, Larson a bit higher, mano-a-mano at the bell lap.
White flag waves in front of Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson. They start the final lap, separated by 2 car lengths. 2 chances for Kyle Larson remains to the high side of turn 1.
How badly do you want it? Kyle Larson's about to answer that question. He goes to the bumper of Hamlin. Hamlin with the lead in 3. Larson goes way high. Hamlin shuts off the lane. That might be enough to get him home.
Out of turn 4, checkered flag down on the new concrete king of NASCAR. Denny Hamlin takes it at Dover. His 2nd concrete win of the season. He hangs on to defeat Kyle Larson in the last laps of a Dover thriller. Hamlin the winner for the 54th time in his career, tying Lee Petty for 12th on the all-time NASCAR win list.
Wow, what a finish.
Sometimes, folks, you just gotta watch this sport, stay till the end, and let the race go through the motions. A classic rubber band race. At times of this race, you'd stretch the field out, but at the very end, it all comes back together. And Hamlin again gets the upper hand on Larson.
What a finish.
Third win of the year for Denny Hamlin, his second of his career at Dover. His 3 wins this year, again, have all come on tracks of 1 mile in length or less. He's won on the half mile at Bristol, 3/4 mile at Richmond, and the 1 mile at Dover. And Denny Hamlin joins William Byron as a 3-time winner in the NASCAR Cup Series in 2024. He's turned the car around in turn 2. He'll run reverse that direction so he gets all the fans in the turns 1 and 2 in, see his celebration. And Hamlin will come back towards the main straightaway, and he'll speak with the folks at Fox Sports. Let me tell you something. You couldn't shoehorn another soul in the seats here on the main stretch. They are jam-packed here right on the front stretch of this racetrack. Hamlin goes for another slide. You know, all 3 of his wins this year, too, have come with Mavis on the hood and quarter panels of the car. He's yet to win in the FedEx Express. I think his favorite color is about to be teal.
There you go.
Still doing a John Force burnout here on the main straightaway. And, of course, John Force was the fastest qualifier at the 4-wide Nationals yesterday. Can you believe that guy?
He's still racing?
And still wicked fast.
Evidently. What is he, 105?
Hamlin finally comes to a stop here, parked it right on the finish line on the 9 degrees of banking on the main straightaway, right in front of his crew, which has made its way onto the pit wall.
74, John Force. He's 74.
My gosh. And Hamlin will look to clamber out of that Toyota. Kyle Larson left to think what he could have done differently. Well, we thought that it was going to be a match race between Larson and Truex. Instead, it turned into a match race at the finish between Larson and another of the Gibbs Toyotas and Denny Hamlin. Regan Smith is down there.
End of the race, you're having to deal with lap traffic, a hard charging Kyle Larson behind you. How did you manage all that?
It's just a great team. This whole Mavis Tires and Brakes team just did a great job. All the guys on the wall right here, they're the ones that make it happen. So thank you to them, Chris Gabehart, Lambert, the whole team for just giving me great cars. Joe Gibbs Racing, Toyota, Shady Rays, Coca-Cola, the Jordan brand. Man, just great partnership with all, and just, man, I love winning.
You managed to win the race off pit road at the end of stage 2 there. Was that the key moment that allowed you to really flex the muscle with this 11 car?
I think the key moment really was, Kyle did a great job executing on that green flag restart, or the green flag pit cycle, and then we were able to get the lead there on that restart, which allowed us, with the caution, to control the restart. So that was the key moment for us, and man, certainly feels good winning here at Dover.
You tied Lee Petty for 12th most on the all-time list today. What's that mean to you?
It's just fantastic. I mean, I couldn't hold Lee Petty's helmet, but I've been blessed with a great race team. This whole FedEx team, Mavis team, Sport Clips, everyone that supports this 11 car, just they're the ones that make it happen. I'm the lucky one who gets to drive it.
Denny Hamlin, your winner in Dover.
Say 50-50, Kevin.
Maybe. And Kyle Larson brings it home second. We just heard Denny loves to win. It was a good battle between you two, especially the last 10 laps there, Kyle. But anything you could have done differently with your race car?
Not in the last 10, but just losing the lead on, when I got to restart as a leader. I went late in the zone, and Martin was trying to time it behind me, and he hit me right when I wanted to go, and it just screwed up, and I got a lot of wheel spin, and he was out, able to kind of outrace me into one, and his car was really good on short runs, and I could pace it and get closer to him at the end of the runs, but it's just so easy to air block. Not that he was doing anything dirty or anything like that. It's so easy as the leader, especially at a place like this, to just shut off the air on the guys behind you, and I knew when I got within 3 car lengths he was going to start, moving around, and I just couldn't really do anything. I was trying all sorts of different angles and speeds and all that, and nothing could, generate enough speed to get, close enough, I guess, to do anything. So that was a bummer, but a great day, for our HinderCars.com Chevy team. Started 21st, drove up to 6th in the first stage, or 5th, and then got a stage win, another stage win, so that was good. Good points day, but we would have loved to get a win, but always fast here at Dover. Just need to be a little bit better on the restarts. I've lost a lot of races on restarts here, so just keep trying to get better.
Well done. Kyle Larson brings it home second.
Larson with a very classy interview there. Chased Denny Hamlin down the stretch and came up 2 car lengths short, and Denny Hamlin scores his third victory of the season, his second of his career at Dover, and the 54th of his Cup Series career. Swings it out of the park in Dover, Delaware. Denny at Dover in Delaware.
And he beat everybody's favorite driver again.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Well,
he seemed to indicate on his podcast, was it Thursday, he felt good about this, and he called his shot. And boy, did he get it done.
Yeah. Well, again, just to say...
Next up, by the way, 2 more wins. He passes Rusty Wallace.
Yeah, and he won at Kansas last year. That's where we head next. He's terrific at Darlington, which is where we head after Kansas.
He won the 600 a couple of years ago.
Yes, it's a great stretch of races for Denny and Toyota when you look at it. So, yeah, Hamlin, could he get to 60 wins this season? That was his 54th. Winning 6 more to make it 9 for the season would be a tall task, but could he run down Kevin Harvick at 60 to get into the top 10 on the all-time wins list? We'll be watching it, of course, as the season goes on. Again, just to say, before we give our final thoughts and sign off, I just want to say again, just one of those races where you have to let it play out. Don't over-exaggerate what's going on in the first 50, 100, 200 laps. Don't assume you know how it's going to play out, because you just have to let these things run its course. And what a race we had here today, Seth, is I'll begin with you for our ones to watch. With yeah, we don't need to start the race over.
No, we don't.
Begin with you on final thoughts.
Good race, good Dover race, good solid finish. 2 of the best going at it, and at the end, it was Denny Hamlin that got it done. It was a great job by him today. Some comers and goers too at times. So yeah, I enjoyed the race. Of course, no matter how the race goes, I'm always going to enjoy being with you on it.
Driver of the day thoughts? There's a lot to choose from, actually.
I'm going to go Noah Gragson.
Okay.
Good solid run. Held on to the top 10. Kept the nose clean.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go... Daniel Hemrick finished 9th. Came into this race 29th in the championship standings. And like I said earlier, take nothing away from him just because he got a big lucky break. You've got to be lucky in this business. That's more of a shout-out for me to Daniel Hemrick, because I'm going to give my driver of the day vote to A.J. Allmendinger. That car has been – it was good all weekend long. He qualified 10th. I don't think he was worse than 15th at any point in the day outside of the pit stop cycle. I think he was top 15 all day, and he finished 13th. I think I'm going to give it to A.J. Allmendinger because that was a much-needed good run for A.J. Of course, Hemrick, his teammate at Colleague, finishing 9th. Tremendous day for the folks at Colleague. And then I guess, Seth, the other thing that just to share my final thought, and of course it was a great finish, and we had a lot of different drivers at the front, spin time at the front, that could have easily won this race, like Hamlin, Larson, Truex. Busch finished 4th, by the way. Don't let it go unnoticed that team needed a good run and got a top 5 finish today. Elliott, Blaney, and Bowman, top 10. That's where they ran just about all day. But just something that I want to share, and we're going to say this all season long until the very last race of the year. You cannot screw this thing up on pit road. Track position is too valuable, and it's too difficult. This field is too difficult to try to pass if you screw it up on pit road. And, of course, what I mean about that today is with William Byron. Had one of the best cars here, I think we all felt. One of the 5 best. Led a lot of the race. One mistake, just one mistake on pit road, dropping the jack. Got caught so far behind. He went from running in the top 5 to 18th, I think it was. He never got back into the top 15 again, and he got caught up in someone else's mess. Ended up 71 laps to go, finishing 33rd after getting in that crash. So Byron, tough day for him, but you just can't screw it up on pit road. Can't get it back.
No.
Well, Seth, this was fun. Kansas next week for some barbecue?
Sure, why not?
Well, it was a good time. We had some good crab cakes here in Delaware this week. We'll go to the barbecue this week in Kansas. Yeah. That does it for us here on USRN and JB Motorsports. Denny Hamlin scores the victory in Dover. It's his 3rd win of the year, 2nd of his career at Dover, 54th win of his career. He's now tied with Lee Petty for 12th on the all-time NASCAR wins list. We will be back next week in Kansas next Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, the Advent Health 400. For everyone at USRN, Mixler.com, for everyone at JB Motorsports, for Seth Eves, Matthew Owens signing off. We're Denny Hamlin. Denny dominates in Dover, Delaware. We'll see you in Kansas.